This is The Bad Listener with Danny Stroh.
So it's just me constantly trying to fix issues with it, and things get screwed up, and then I'm trying to figure out how to fix it, and I'm not, I thought like at this point in time I'd find someone who was like good with that type of stuff,
Right.
and I'd be able to like, oh, can you just come over and set this up for me? And nobody has any idea. It's like I can't find anybody. That was actually how I got Mike on to begin with. That's
He
the
was
funny
going to
story.
help you with that?
No, so what happened was when I was doing this, I wanted to find somebody who can help me like navigate through the audio visual type stuff, and I knew that they did a live stream for the church online or whatever. So I'm like,
Right.
oh, they must have somebody who's like in control of all this stuff or whatever. And then I asked him, he's like, we had somebody set it up and we just come in and press play. Like, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't catch a break here. I'm like, I can't find anybody. But
When did you start doing this podcast?
October or November of 2024 was the first episode, somewhere around there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that.
But there was like a point where it dropped off completely for like 6 months.
Okay.
Like I had like 6 months where nobody really wanted to do it at all. I mean, you know what it is? I'm in this position where like, yeah, I probably could have done episodes if I like really like got on people's back about it, but I didn't want it to be like that. I want it to be more of like, let's get together and hang out and do this. Not like, oh, can you please come do this? Can you please come do this? Can you,
Right.
like, cause it kind of like, then somebody feels obligated. And then it's like this weird, like, I didn't want it to be like, now I owe you or something like that. I just wanted it to be something where, you wanted to do it. You come, we'll do it and have fun or whatever.
Right.
And just it's like I think like 6 months went by where nobody contacted me about it, and I think it was like it was like May to November of last year or something like that. So it was like the summer, and stuff going on. And
Do people know you're doing it? Do all your friends like know you're doing this?
I mean, I can't imagine anyone not knowing. I mean, everybody that I've known, I've sent a link to this to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
everyone I work with, all my friends. I mean, like, yeah, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't know I don't do it. I mean, that was another big surprise when I started this. I thought like I would have so many more people willing to like, oh yeah, let's do this, and like everyone's afraid to be on camera, afraid to be recorded,
Yeah.
so
I get that, yeah.
I didn't expect that really, or I guess I didn't factor that in. So that was kind of stinks, because there's like a lot of people I know who would be awesome to have like conversations with, and they're just like, I can't do it. I can't get I don't want to be recorded. I don't want to be recorded. I'm like, okay. So it's not like I do. I can't force anyone to do anything.
Right.
But yeah, it was actually my friend Paul that I work with. He heard that I had done this, and then he was like, "Oh, I want to do it." And I'm like, "Okay." And at this point, like 6 months had gone by, whatever. I'm like, "All right, we'll set up a thing or whatever." And I had so many problems with the program I was using at the time that the audio was like completely screwed up for the one that we recorded. Like it was completely off from like our mouths, and the audio was like it was a disaster. And I was like, all right, let me see if I can find another program. So I like get rid of that program and find a new program. And then he wants to do another one, so we wound up doing another one. And somehow it just kind of like, and that's when like I went up to Mike and I tried to see who does the live stream for them. And that's when he was like, oh, he's like, what is it for? And I was like, oh, I do this like stupid podcast thing with my friends. We talk about music. And obviously him being like a musician and whatever, he was like, well, can I come on? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And like, I really didn't have any intentions of him wanting to come. I didn't think he would be interested at all.
Right.
And then that kind of sparked the whole idea of like, oh, let's do it like as a Christian. But like I had to ask him, obviously, because if that was something he would want to do, and he said yeah, and then that kind of like steamrolled into what I got going on now. So everything kind of just like evolves from there.
Right.
But yeah, it's just opportunity, you gotta seize those opportunities.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. I feel like I was probably the only person like, Dan, when can we do it? When can we do it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the people who come on, like a lot of them are like super excited. I mean, you've been saying you want to come on for a while, so I know it's just hard with the schedules and stuff like that, and figuring it all out. That's like was Rob's whole thing too.
Well, it was easier than I thought, really. I thought we'd have to like find 2 hours in the day somewhere, but doing it at this time makes it,
Are your kids asleep right now?
No.
Okay. No, because
They
Kristen
should
did
be, but
say
no.
that. She was like, her kids don't even go to bed until like 10. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I'm like,
They're
why?
bad. No, today Brianna took a nap she went down for a nap at like 4 o'clock, so she's gonna be up with Brandon for a while. Abby
Okay.
might fall asleep a little earlier. She didn't nap today, but
Okay.
they're wild
So
cards.
he
Yeah.
hates me right now.
No. No, he's been telling me actually. I think he got this idea from Rob. He said, Emma, I wanna, because I used to go to Celebrate Hope one day a week when
Okay.
Abby was a baby. I started going back, and he said, Emma, I want you to have a one night a week again.
Okay.
So this is my night of the week.
Oh,
this week.
okay. But so you don't do the Celebrate Hope anymore?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I haven't gone back since Briella. Yeah, I don't think I've gone back since having her.
Okay, yeah. No, I do it just because it's easier here. Like if they were awake right now, it would just be chaos. And it's, I mean, I do it with Mike during the day, and it's kind of like when Trevor takes a nap, and like, Kristen will try to get Hunter outside or something, or else he'll be running up and down these stairs, and it's just like chaos.
Right.
So yeah, it works easier after I put him to bed. But I mean, yeah, if we had to work something else out, we would have been able to. But I guess is this the best time for you too then, or no?
The only problem is I might get tired. Like that's the biggest problem. But no, I had
could've
a
made
late
coffee.
cup
You
of
want me to
coffee.
make
I had
coffee?
a
Okay.
I made myself a cup of coffee a few hours ago.
Okay. Yeah.
But this is good. No, this is good. I'm happy to be here.
Listen, if you get tired and you want to end it, just let me know. There's no rules here. I usually go for around 2 hours. Believe it or not, some people want to go way longer, and I have to like edit it down because I can't post like a 4-hour video.
Right,
But
no one's gonna watch it.
Yeah, well, not only that, but when you're going for 4 hours, you just start talking about stuff that nobody really cares about anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You're talking about all types of crazy stuff. That was like the second one I ever did was with Shay, and we were down here for like 5 hours.
Oh
like
my
we were down here
gosh.
like 3 or 4 in the morning, and he was like, "You got to post the whole thing." And I'm like, dude, I'm like, I'm not posting this whole thing. I'm like, I'm not even posting half of this thing. I'm like, we were just rambling on for 5, and it's the second episode. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Are you gonna do another one with him while he's here?
It depends. Maybe. I don't know what his plans are. He's usually like kind of all over the place when he comes because it's weird. He never comes for like a full week. Usually he comes, and if he does come for a full week, he's definitely not here for a full week. He's with his father,
Okay.
So he does a lot of visiting with his family when he's here. Like he's gonna be. He says he's gonna come tomorrow, but like then it depends. Like he's bringing Raven. So he might want to take Raven somewhere tomorrow.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all whatever he wants to do. If he wants to record it, of course we'll do it. But I don't know what his plans are going to be. I think he was talking about going into Manhattan tomorrow night. So if he wants to do it before that, then I've got, I can always do it. It's not an issue with me. I just try not to, I'm not tying him up with anything because he's always got plans on what he wants to do.
Right. Driving, hold on real quick. Driving into Red Bank yesterday, the PNC shows like what it'll like show on the expressway, like what shows are coming up.
Yeah.
There's someone called Dan and Shay.
Oh yeah. That's an actual group. Yeah, I think I'm trying. I forget what type of music it is, but I did see that. That I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. But the Shay is with a Y, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing that a while because they've been around for a little bit. I remember seeing that a while ago. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, I'm not familiar with their music though.
Me neither. So, were you familiar with Lauren Daigle's music before I said?
Yeah. Well, I was familiar with it for a while because Mom was really into her, and then Kristen got really into her, so she was always playing the music around the house.
Right.
She's all right. I mean, it's girl music.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
But the music, the album you sent me,
Yeah.
Victory.
Yeah.
I had never heard of her before.
Yeah.
Where'd you find her?
Well, this is the thing. So when you guys, because people, I tried to do this for like Rob too, and that's kind of how I found Gable Price. Like, did you ever listen to him or no?
No, but I've heard you guys talk about it.
Yeah. So, because when he sent me Josiah Queen, I'm like, listen, what do you want me to go by? Do you want me to just go by genre, or do you want it to be Christian? Like, I guess because Christian's kind of like a genre,
Right.
whatever. And he was like, no, yeah, I want it to be Christian. I'm like, okay. And like now I'm a little bit more into the Christian genre. Like I know a lot more artists now than I did at that time. So for me, it was like, okay, I have to kind of like find an artist that's somewhat comparable and that I actually like, that kind of like jumps out at me. And while I
Right.
was going through all this music, that album, you know, I played a bunch of songs and that album had really jumped out at me. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go with this one, whatever. And that's kind of what I had to do here because that genre is so, there's not a lot of people under that because she's like
Niche.
she's kind of
Yeah.
like soul,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's not like a super pop. I mean, any specific, you know, music genre under the Christian genre, once you get super specific, you're gonna fall into, you know, like even Josiah Queen. There's really not that many people that sound like Josiah Queen's music. He's doing this kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a folky type of. I think they call it like what do they call it again? Stomping something or whatever. Yeah, so I mean, I don't, you know, I couldn't off the top of my head even think of another artist that was within that genre, and I didn't want to just throw anybody at you. So I'm like, all right, let me go through some Christian artists that are in that soul type of genre. And after going through a bunch of albums, that one kind of really popped out at me, and I'm like, oh, this is like a really good one. I kind of enjoyed it, so I went through the whole album, and then I'm like, okay, I'll send this album to her and see if she likes this one.
I loved it.
It was good, right?
I loved
it. Was really good.
Thank you. Because, I feel like I'm going to like keep listening to it for the rest of my life.
She actually has a newer album. I didn't listen to her newer one. That one, I was going based off what, you know, people were online were saying and what the reviews were like. And they were saying that one was like above, like head and shoulders above her other two albums.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of just listened to that one. I really liked it and I sent it to you. But she actually had a new album that came out last year or this year or whatever, but I didn't listen to it.
Oh, I
so
got to
don't know.
listen to it.
Yeah.
But I like it a lot. And you don't really realize it when you first listen, but almost every song is just scripture. She's just like singing scripture.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Either, no.
And she does like spoken word in a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
she'll like the whole Psalm 27, which is my favorite Psalm. So when she just quoted the whole thing in one of the songs, I was like, this is amazing. And then another song is just like one verse from Psalm 27, just like, again, one verse is just like one line, the blood is enough or something like that. Like, and it's just over and over again. And it's just like, wow, but it's amazing. I really love it. I really enjoy it.
I think the first half of the album I liked a lot more than the second half. I think the second half got a little bit slower.
Yeah.
A different pace. And I'm also not a fan of when they do like these interlude tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I always just think whatever, it's fine. But
I liked it. I enjoyed it. And really comparable to the Lauren Daigle album I sent you, with even like, I feel like things that they were talking about in the songs were like parallel. It was really, really good.
Yeah. And that's actually her real name, by the way, too. Her name is Victory.
Yeah.
Oh, you looked at it. Okay. No. I forget what her last name is, but yeah.
Something with a B, but I think.
Yeah. And the name of because we always do this, we'll start talking about the album without saying it's Victory Glory Hour is the name of it. Okay.
And then the Lauren Daigle one is Look Up Child.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you said that before. Yeah.
Yeah. After I'm listening to this album again, I was trying to find an album that I felt like kind of tied to emotionally.
Okay.
And I was like, even though I wasn't listening to this album a lot, like before we're doing this podcast, I don't listen to it a lot on the daily.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came out for a long time after, I was listening to it a lot. So every song is very, like, I feel like emotionally tied to it, and very like, I know every word still, you know? And just, I can remember that like time when I was listening to it, and just really, really touching. And then as I'm listening to it, I'm like, you know what? I think I saw this album in concert, and I realized that me, Kristen, Heather, and
we do it like Baltimore or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, yeah, I
saw
saw
a long
this
time
album in
ago,
concert, yeah. But yeah, it holds like a special place in my heart. Like personally, like usually day to day, I listen to a lot of rap actually.
Oh yeah.
And I was gonna choose a rap album, but I was
Christian hip hop, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I to be honest, I don't listen to any secular music.
Okay.
I know you talked about this with Michael because
That's fine. I mean,
but I can appreciate the artistry in anything, obviously. But that's just a personal preference. Like I don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't listen. You like what you like, and I don't think anyone should listen to something they don't like.
Right.
I just think that people have a certain way of thinking about secular music that I don't agree with, because I mean, I can go on for this forever, but
Right.
continue what you were saying.
What was I saying?
Uh,
I forgot.
You said you listen to a lot of hip hop.
I listen to hip hop more. I listen to rap. I was gonna choose a rap album, but I think this album just like, yeah, like I said, just every song, it's like as I was doing, so I'm good, I'm a nerd, and what I did was I would copy and paste the lyrics to each song, and then just if I had any comments on it or whatever. And I was doing this for the album, and I'm like, wow, this is like really encouraging because all her songs were like it's filled with truth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like almost like a counseling session to be sitting down and like looking at the lyrics to each song.
Okay.
And yeah, really powerful lyrics. A lot of it on identity, on the character of God. The one song actually, it's funny. When I wanted to do this, when I wanted to do the podcast with you, I was like asking God, like, is this the right time? Like, just confirm for me if you want me to do this, if you want me to go forward. And I get in the car, and one of the songs from the album is on the radio, and it's called "You Say." That's like the most popular one from the album.
Okay.
And it's just like all about how like we have feelings, right? Like when we feel weak, God says we are strong. When we feel like not loved, God says you are loved. Like all these things where it's like, okay, I feel this way, but God says this. So what am I going to believe? Am I going to believe how I feel about myself right now? And specifically about identity, that song is. So it's like, am I going to believe what I feel about myself? I feel weak. I feel useless. I feel whatever. Or am I going to believe what God says about me?
Right.
And we have to choose to believe what God says, and that's where faith comes in. But so it was just like really encouraging to go through this, like leading up to coming on the podcast.
Yeah. On that note, I read a couple books on spiritual warfare, and the funny part is like they always talk about how those negative thoughts that you have, like it isn't you. Like those negative thoughts are that's supposed to be Satan. Like that, what his only real way of affecting you is to manipulate the way you think. So like Satan doesn't kill your dog, or like he doesn't, like there's nothing, he can't do anything in the physical
He has no
world.
power. Like
He has no power in the physical world.
Yeah.
But he has the power to manipulate the way you think. So that's where the spiritual warfare comes from, because it's Jesus, God, against Satan, as far as like the control over how you think, right? Because the positive thoughts that you get is supposed to be, or the positive way of you thinking is Jesus's way of getting through to you. But you have, and this comes from like the angel on your shoulder, the devil on your shoulder. That's the spiritual warfare. That's not like when you're thinking that, you have to like remember like, oh, like he's messing with me. Like, you know what I mean? If you just think of it in those terms,
Right.
like this is what the devil wants. Like the
Right.
devil wants me to
Yeah.
think that,
Right.
so that I'll do something bad,
Right.
or, I'll sin, whatever.
Right.
And the whole idea is like to be
Or
able
I'll just
to
never know who I really am, right?
Well, yeah, but it's also, it makes life a lot easier to navigate when you're aware that this is the war upon you, where you actually can fight it.
Right.
Like, you have the power to
Right.
not listen to those thoughts, because it's not you.
Right.
Like, like people think, oh, this is what I think and this is me. They're like, no, that's the devil messing with
attack.
you. It's an attack,
Right.
right? And that's just like, once you're able to like, oh, I see what's going on here. Now you can, it's much easier to fight it when you understand it, is what I'm
Right.
trying to say.
Right. I think I struggle to like realize what's going on when it's like personal. I think what that has been really helpful to me when I get into a fight with my husband, and I'm like, oh, this is what the devil wants.
Yeah, of course.
The devil hates marriage. The devil wants division in my marriage. No, I'm not gonna.
Right, right.
I'm gonna be on his team. We're not enemies. Like the devil is the enemy, and he's trying to. This is an attack on my marriage. Realizing that will really help me and be like, all right, get over yourself, Emma. Like it's not something to fight about,
Right. Yeah. I mean, that definitely helped me understand things like a lot better. So, with Pearl, with anything, like you just have to like remember that it's not, it's something that you can fight, and it's not you. It's somebody, it's the attack against you or whatever. Yeah. Again, I interrupted you. I don't know where you were going with that. Now I forget.
It's okay. I don't know either.
Oh, you were talking about the lyrics to the song, I guess.
The lyrics to the song, yeah. The
Yeah.
lyric, like, when it comes
And
to
it confirmed that you should do the podcast.
it did. It did. It was God confirming that I should do the podcast. It was. Um, but yeah, powerful, powerful lyrics, powerful truth in the songs. And I think there's like the lyrics actually in one of the songs. Um, oh, I jam out to the song. She keeps repeating, I can't stop thinking about your goodness, your goodness. I can't stop thinking about your goodness. Just meditating on the goodness of God.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what we want to fill our mind with is God's goodness, God, the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The truth of God's word, the truth of what God's done. Another one of her songs called Remember.
Mm-hmm.
Just like remembering everything that God has brought you through, remembering everything God has done for you, remembering all the prayers he's answered, like
Yeah.
everything. And there's a lot of scripture about remembering and yeah, just that to fix our eyes on the truth. And I guess that's kind of the message of the album too, is like when we are feeling like all these things from whatever, the world, inside, whatever, we're feeling down, we're feeling we don't understand. And sometimes we'll ask God questions, like trying to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't answer our question. He's not like, oh, this is why this that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, look up, child.
Right.
Look at me. Like, I'm the answer to the question. Like, and when he really is the focus of our life, it's like, where is the problem? What is the problem when God is all we want, God is all we have? When I'm sorry, let me say that right. When God is all we want, we have all that we want, right?
Right.
When God is all we need, we have all that we need.
Right.
I have to tell myself that sometimes, like, all I need is God and I have God, so I have everything I need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you're 100% right. It's almost like a sport, not a sport, but like something that you have to practice daily in order to get your mindset into a point where you can constantly realize, not get caught up with the stupid things in life and constantly realize that, all right, like I don't like this book has all the answers. I don't really need anything else. You have your relationship with God and he's going to take care of everything. And that's it. Like, it's not really as complicated as it, as it seems sometimes. And it's hard to remember that though. Like, it's hard to like, you go through something and you get stressed out and flipping out. And I'm like, what am I even doing? But yeah, I mean, it's funny because like, I'm like in a realistic world, you wouldn't want to like constantly be reading scripture and be understanding scripture. And then I'm like, but you also have to navigate through life with everything else. So it's like, you only have so much time to do this and do this. And then, that's my life right now is just trying to see how many plates I could spin at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that like you have to practice because it makes life so much easier and it makes life so much better when you realize that you don't need anything else but God and the word of God and God's love, and to have that relationship with him and to be able to and it's funny, I feel like almost like a fraud because I understand that people talk with God in a much different way. Like I'm just probably not there yet. And people will say, well, I hear God talk to me about, all the time. And I just feel like I'm at such an infancy relationship with him. I mean, I think it grew very quickly, but I'm still at a point where like he's talking to me through like feeling and like showing me things in a physical world. And I'm like, I don't have the relationship where I can like talk to him like that. So it's like almost I kind of feel like a fraud. But when you develop a relationship with him and you see how powerful that is and how powerful his messages are and what he can do in a real life, it's once you start seeing that like on that level, it's so amazing. I mean, you can't go backwards from here,
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. Once you know. Yeah. Like Simon says to Jesus, right? When Jesus starts talking about like eating his flesh and drinking his blood.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that are following him leave. They're like, this is too weird for us. We're out.
Yeah.
And Jesus turns to his disciples. He's like, are you guys going to leave too?
Yeah.
Simon's like, where are we going to go? Where else would we go? So yeah, like, yeah, it's hard. I think Pastor Fran said once, it stuck with me. She said the flesh dies hard. Like our flesh is what we're trying to overcome a lot of the time. It's just that like stuff that comes up, that worry, that pride, that stuff that needs to die. We need to surrender it, give it all. Like one of the songs on Lauren Daigle's album is called Rebel Heart.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, like my heart is so rebellious. Like every day my heart is chasing after other things. It's wandering off from God. It's trying to do its own thing. And she's just like, God, I offer up this rebel heart. Like it's yours. I just take it. It's yours. Like I know that my way doesn't work. Another song in that album's so good. Another song in the album is like she sings like this girl's not going anywhere. Like I've searched the world to find like this girl's not going anywhere. So it's like, exactly, like where else would we go? Like we've done all the things in the world, we've looked in all the other places, and nothing comes back satisfying other than the relationship with God.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's I'm learning that a lot right now. Like, because sometimes I wake up and I have this like plan of how my day should go and the things I have to get done, and want the girls to behave and want the house to get clean and all these different things, right? And I realize like, okay, everything on my to-do list can get done. The girls can be so behaved and everything's good and then I get to the end of the day and I'm like, wait, but like I had no joy today. So, like, I don't wanna do life like that, even if I get everything done on my to-do
Right,
list. Like,
right.
I wanna do life with God and have that joy as I do it. And then it's like when I'm doing life with God, it doesn't matter if the to-do list gets done or not. It doesn't matter if everything goes my way because, I can respond to it differently,
Right, right,
you
right,
know?
right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's definitely one way to look at it. I mean, I try to look at it where I think I'm more focused on, okay, I got to get this done, but like I'm here and my kids are here. I also have to like be present. Like that's
Yeah,
why I'm like, all right, I've got a million things to do, but if I spend all day ignoring them and then doing these things, tomorrow
right.
I go to work and it's like they just never really get to see me. So I'm like juggling, like, okay, let me do this task. Okay, let's go play this or do that, or like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And like kind of go back and forth. Yeah, the one thing I realized that to-do list never actually gets done. So it's because it just keeps growing. It's like I could complete 10 things off and then tomorrow 20 more things get added. And it's like, okay, whatever. Just there's always going to be stuff on it. It's going to take forever to do it. But as
Right.
as long as you chip away at it and just try to have fun doing it, I guess. Try not to stress over it. That's when it starts piling up and you're like, "Oh no, I got too much on this list to do," and you start like stressing out about it.
But yeah,
Uh,
I like to practice more, relating to Jesus in the things I'm doing
okay.
and like seeing him and his hand as I'm doing the things that are taking me away from him or not the thing I'd rather be doing. Like I think, oh, I have these things to do, but maybe he's waiting for me in the thing that I'm like avoiding.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, a lot of the times for me now, I'm with the girls all day, so, I but I have other things I feel like I need to get done. I really don't have anything important to get done, by the way, but just, things that are important in my mind at the
Yeah.
moment. Um, but I think if I just was like, "All right, like, I'm just gonna be present with my daughters right now,"
Yeah.
and then, like, finding Jesus in that, cause he's there,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
always with us. Brandon was leaving the house one day, and he goes, "Emma, God is on the couch waiting to hang out with you. Where are you trying to go?" And I'm like, "Oh, man, it's so true." Like, his presence is always waiting to just be, like, acknowledged and, like, step into that and, like, just talk to him and pray out loud, sing out loud, worship out loud, like, just, build up your faith just
Yeah.
doing what you're already doing, you
Right,
know?
right, right, right. Yeah, it's wild how much better things go, the more you pray or, like, the more you even
Yeah.
just think about his word, like, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. What you
And how
meditate
much
on, yeah.
yeah, how much easier the day goes by.
Right. It makes all the difference.
Oh, yeah, 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 definitely. And it's tough because you got, like, a million things going on, but You gotta like find some time into it. Like, you know, you gotta like squeeze it in here and there. Oh man, what was I just gonna say? Yeah, I can't remember. You threw me off when you were talking about Brain and Jesus on the couch. It was pretty funny.
He's right there waiting for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just a lot of different things going on right now. So my head is like all over the place constantly, trying
Yeah.
to focus on one thing and jumping to the next.
Yeah. You probably have a lot more going on than me. I really don't have much going on.
Well, now it's like I just keep adding something else to my plate as far as what I want to do. And you know, like I said, I'm just trying to take advantage of every opportunity that's been coming my way. So, you know, I'm stacking up the list of things that I want to accomplish, and I'm also realizing I don't have the time to accomplish any of them. So
Yeah.
I'm you know, I'm trying to do a million things at once, and I just gotta like remember I gotta, you know, there's no rush. I guess I just gotta take everything at a slower pace
Right.
and try to like enjoy it. But yeah, it's overwhelming. The amount that God is wanting me to do right now is pretty overwhelming. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I have a bathroom that God really doesn't want me to finish. Have you heard what's going on with this bathroom? It's unbelievable. Like,
No.
it's God has to be involved in some way. For whatever reason, he doesn't want this bathroom to get finished. So I'd framed and I don't know if you heard the entire, I remember the whole history of this, but when I redid the upstairs, I think it was before Hunter was born even, I redid the entire upstairs. I framed out for a half bath up there so I can put a toilet and a sink for them. And but I was like, I don't need to finish it right now. I'll just frame it out and finish their rooms, and then like when they're old enough to use the bathroom on their own, I'll finish it, which is
Okay.
like now.
Right.
But at the time when I had the plumbing done, I had Jamie's fiance at the time mad to it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So first I'm
I
like,
heard something about it. I did
it's
hear.
the whole thing is ridiculous now. So the first thing was I was like, all right, the first thing I do is I gotta do the floor. I gotta tile the floor, and I tiled this entire basement by myself. So I was like,
Oh.
I was like, I'll do the tile, whatever. And I don't know why, I happened to see this, like, there's like spacers that you use for the tiles when you put them in,
Yeah.
and they have these like new spacers. I guess they're not new now. They're probably 10 years old, but I had heard about them and then I seen them. I was like, oh, let me try them. They're like self-leveling spacers. What I didn't know was like these spacers can only be used if you were doing like a mud job, which means if you had like a lot of space in between the actual floor and where the tile's going as far as like cement and stuff like that.
Okay.
So when I put everything down, they weren't even sitting on the cement. Like the whole floor was basically ruined.
No.
Yeah, it was a disaster. All because I decided to try and use this new, like, I'm like, I can't believe I just destroyed this whole floor trying to do this. So now I'm like calling people, I'm like, yo, what do I do? What do I do? My friend Mike had some guys that were able to come over in a couple of days and basically redo the whole floor. And I didn't have to buy new tile, which was nice. But yeah, the whole thing was like a disaster. So I'm like, okay, whatever, get past that, finish everything else. You know, we wind up painting, putting the moldings and everything. So now all I need to do is somebody to come in, put the toilet in, hook the sink up, and we're good. And I had somebody come and he's like, yeah, whoever roughed out the toilet, they put it 8 inches from the wall and it's got to be 12 inches from the wall. So I'm like, how do I get out of this now? And he's like, oh, you gotta basically cut a giant hole in your floor and redo all the plumbing. Like, it's just like a joke at this point. So I figured out a way to not do that, but it's still a ton of work. I basically have to push the wall back behind the toilet now. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So today, that's what I was doing today. I cut a huge hole in the wall and knocked out studs. Now I have to like reframe out. It's a nightmare.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, what are the chances all these things keep happening that are preventing me? I don't know. It's funny. I'm like, this has got to be God saying he
It's
doesn't want
got to
me
be
to-
by
I don't
design,
know.
right?
Yeah. I was funny. I was thinking about this story. Oh man, I can't remember the guy's name. Is the book over there? Yeah. So that book, Running to the Fire, Ken Isaacs.
Yeah.
So that's the book about Samaritan's Purse.
Okay. Yeah.
So this guy basically spent his whole life with different organizations, but I think mainly with, or he worked for a long time for Samaritan's Purse, but he basically committed his whole life to wherever there was like a disaster somewhere in the world and people needed help, like they assembled teams and they were out there and just, whatever they had to do, rebuild homes or get people food or whatever the situation was. Like this guy dedicated his whole life to that. And he had this situation where they sent a team to help people with it was in Africa when the Ebola outbreak was going on.
Okay, yeah.
And they had all these procedures they had to do to make sure that their team didn't get Ebola, where they had to have these decontamination with all these different layers of clothing and this whole process, and 2 of their team members got Ebola.
Wow.
So he tells a story about how like they didn't know what to do because they're in like the middle of Africa, like everyone that they're treating, basically almost everybody is dying. Like, so yeah. So the problem is they can't even transport, because it's so contagious. They can't even transport them to America.
Oh, wow.
They could, but they would have to jump through a million hoops because they would have to get some type of special airplane with like a pressurized, you'd have to go through a million different scenarios, whatever, different things in order to get them here. So they basically, it was like the whole story was they were also trying to figure out if there was like any medical company coming up with some type of cure or something to help cure the Ebola or whatever. And so they were basically doing 2 things at once, where they were in talks with a company that basically had an experimental drug that was maybe could help or whatever. And then they had this plane that they were completely certified to do this, but something happened where like the plane, when it went there, it got like delayed and it couldn't go back, and they thought the people were going to die. But what had happened was, because the plane couldn't leave or whatever the issue was, and they had to stay there, that drug became available for them to take in that time period.
Right. Okay.
So, and the drug actually that they were able to take actually saved their lives. So it was almost this whole thing where if that plane left when it was supposed to with them on it, they wouldn't have been able to take the drug, and they probably would have wound up coming back to the US and died. So he was like, I couldn't, like at the time I thought it was the worst thing in the world that this plane couldn't make it and it had to like turn around and go back. And we were like, oh my God, and meanwhile, he was like, this is God, like sticking his hand out, like, no, they're going to stay there. They're going to take this. And now they're going to be okay, type of thing. So you have to, I'm waiting for my spectacular bathroom story whenever that's finished.
God's going to give you a lot of stories. Yeah, that's like,
but that's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, this has got to be one of those things where he's putting this off, because this is just amazing at this point. The amount of things that are going wrong is just unbelievable. Couldn't.
Yeah. His timing.
You're on God's time, not your time, right?
Right. It reminds me though, a couple years back, I don't know if you listened to Shia LaBeouf at all. We were listening to some of his interviews.
Recent?
A couple years ago.
Okay, because he was just in some type of fiasco, right? Where he was arrested and this and that.
Oh, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, he was on some type of rant. He went on some type of spree in New Orleans or something and was arrested.
I don't know about that.
And yeah, okay.
But anyway, he's got this interview and he's talking about his journey kind of getting sober.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, I think it's like an old proverb or something, like an old Chinese proverb, but he's the first person I heard it from, where like something bad happens and you think it's bad until the next thing happens that you realize it's good.
Right.
And then the next thing happens that's bad, and you don't realize it's not bad until the next thing happens. Like, oh, good thing. And so it's like whenever anything happens, he's just like, I can't call it. Like, I can't say if it's bad or good. I can't call it. Like, it's something else. Right. Only time will tell whether this is like good or bad.
Right.
So yeah, your bathroom needing a lot of time. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I guess when you think about it, like I mean, not to say there is no bad, but the idea is that if God is involved, then there's a purpose to it, right?
Yeah, he works all things for good.
Yeah.
All things.
Like everything, no matter if you think it's bad, he in his eyes, he turns it to good, right? I was just reading about that. Going through the book of Isaiah and how it's like he uses like the Assyrians to conquer Judah or whatever as basically like a tool where they they think they think they're winning, but really God's just using them
Mhm.
until he has them conquered or whatever. And it's,
They're
you
just a
don't
tool in
really,
his
yeah,
hand. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So it's stuff like that where,
He's so in control.
yeah, it's so in control. And that's like such a difficult thing to really come to terms with, especially when really, something bad happens. You're just like, why? Like, why
Yeah.
does this happen?
Yeah.
And the truth is, you'll probably never know, but you have to take the good with the bad and understand that there's a purpose for that happening. No matter what that purpose is. It's
Right.
funny. I always think about that debate. I think Rob had brought this up as like a stupid debate that he hated, and I thought it was funny because I thought it was kind of an important thing to think about, or at least try to come to some type of conclusion with, where um so like people will say like everything is God's plan, right? So it's like everything's, but we also have free will, so you can't have both, right? You can't have God's plan and free will because it wouldn't really, they kind of collide, like those ideologies. And it's funny because I heard the perspective that God has a plan for each and every individual, but he can't have that plan come to fruition until you are saved, like until you find him. Because then his plan, you can start basically listening to him and following what he wants you to do as far as his plan goes. Right?
Yeah. I think his mercy overreaches even our mistakes, even before we've known him.
Okay. Well, no, I'm not saying that he can't. God, he can do. He can always come in and do whatever he wants to do. But as far as his plan, like his plan isn't for you to do whatever you want and sin. Like you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started, the argument is, well, if everything that happens is God's plan, I'm like, I don't exactly think that everything that happens is God's plan, because if you're not following what God wants you to do, then you're not really following his plan. He
Right.
can come in, he could step in and do whatever he wants, right?
Right.
But you can't really follow, you're not following what he wants you to do until you're listening to him.
Right.
Like, until
You don't
have
know.
that exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, of course, I think he steps in to obviously do different things and to change different people's lives. And I think a lot of that has to be done with prayer, right? That's got to be like prayer answers and stuff like that, I would think.
What do you mean?
I think that like when things happen, right? Like we'll pray for something and then it happens. And I'm sure you've seen that as much as I have at this point. That's got to be mainly a lot of his divine intervention is due to prayer. I mean, I'm sure he
Yes.
can do it without the prayer.
Yes.
But I would think that a lot of it is due to people praying on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
A
I
lot of
believe
the
that.
divine intervention, right?
I believe that.
Because you realize how powerful prayer is, especially when you have like faith behind it.
Yeah. I mean, there's the example in the Bible. I'm trying to remember exactly. But it says like that this person prayed and God was going to destroy the people, right? The Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
The person prayed. I'm forgetting who it is now. But it says God relented of what he was going to do.
All right. So wait, you're talking about, you're talking about later. Well, if you're talking about the Israelites, you're talking about later on. No, because there was it was Abraham talked to God about that, right? When he wanted to destroy
What, like the 10 good people,
right,
the 5 good
right,
people.
the 5 good
Yeah,
10 good people,
that's another. I think it might be that. I don't know if that's what I was thinking of, but that's another
Okay.
good example.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah, like he had a relationship with God and he's asking God, like, can you not do what you were gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, can you not? Like, just please, And God's like, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you pray for specific things and then they happen, you're like, wow, God listens.
Oh, yeah.
God hears when I talk. Like, it's a crazy concept.
Well, God hears when everyone talks, but I think
Yeah.
and it's I talk about this all the time, but I just feel like it's so overlooked that when you really look at all of Jesus' teachings through the Gospels, like he emphasizes faith so much. Like he brings it up all the time.
Yeah.
Like there's so many parables and stuff where faith is the main element, and I feel like he tries to stress it a lot, because if you don't, like, it's like, even if you pray, if you pray but you don't actually believe that your prayers do anything,
Yeah.
then they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you know
that's
what I
the
mean?
scripture says, yeah.
That's just it. If you believe, if you say, listen, God, I need you to do this, and you believe that God will do it, God will do it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how it all works, but it has to do with faith. Like how much faith you put in him determines the outcome of what God is willing to do for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To a certain degree, at least. I mean, obviously he could do whatever he wants, but I think a lot of it is like, he just stresses it a lot, right? I mean, that was like the whole story with the walking on water and all that stuff. Like it was all, what, why did you stop believing? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah. Well,
Faith the size of a mustard seed, you can
yeah.
move the mountains. Like there's a lot where he talks about how you have to, even like with the woman who's healed by touching his clothes, because you believed.
Right.
Because you believed.
Right.
That's why.
Your faith has made you well.
Exactly.
He says over and over again. Yeah. Yeah, which is sometimes I struggle with that, because like as I'm praying, I'm like asking for something, but I'm like, oh God, like how doubtful I am about this actually happening.
Right, yeah.
But please, like, please do it anyway. Like, like, please give me the
But that's
faith
the
to
idea,
believe.
right? Like, if you believe everything in the book, then why can't you believe that he can do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still so tough to even believe that he can do things that aren't even close to raising the dead. You know what I mean?
Right. It's true. Because when you personalize things, it's like, could that really happen for me?
But it can. That's the crazy part.
It can, but there's still that doubt.
There's still doubt.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he emphasizes it so much, because if all you have to do is believe it, like, because that's what the whole faith, that's what it's all based on. It's all based on the belief.
Yeah.
And this was before he died and was ready.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the songs, I'm gonna keep bringing it back to the album because that's just fresh in my
go
head.
ahead. Yeah, of course.
But Victory has a song called "Righteous" on the Glory Hour album.
Is that the 7-minute song, or is that a different one?
I don't know. Is there a 7-minute song? I don't even know. But she says, "By faith I'm righteous."
Yeah.
Because you say it.
Yeah.
Because I believe in the blood. It's pretty much she's saying, I believe in the blood and I receive it by faith. So I believe, because you've said it, I'm righteous. I'm holy. I'm perfect. I believe that all my sin is covered on the cross. And I put my faith in that, and I receive your righteousness. And that's just such a concept, like, to believe, like, wow, like I'm such a sinner, but I'm righteous. Like, I'm such a sinner, but God has made me perfect. And I don't receive it because I did it like a good job today. I receive it based on faith in what Jesus did on the cross, faith that his blood covers my sin. It's all about faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, just the receiving.
I just feel like that's not
receiving
talked
things
about.
by
Like, just people don't.
So
You're getting it.
overrated.
You have to believe. I don't know. I guess it's a hard concept to kind of like wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Because it just seems unbelievable that like anything can happen, But even still, like when he said that, like I just kind of thought that was a bad comparison. Like if you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could tell these mountains to move and they'd move. But I'm like, but those mountains won't move, right?
But if you have faith that they will, they will. The mountains move in an earthquake.
Okay.
He shook the earth.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like
you could say that.
There are things. It is like. It's like what you said, like when we believe things in the book, but then we doubt other things. Like we believe that God moved the water so the Israelites can go through.
Yeah.
He can move, but like when it comes to our life and looking at water, it's like, can he move that water? Like, but obviously everything for a purpose. But yeah, the carryover of like what we believe is true, but then making it a reality in our own life.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing too, though, right? Because let's say he did do that. Well, first of all, in order for him to do that, you would have to fully believe, which is almost impossible, right? I mean,
What do you mean?
to do something like that, like go stand at the ocean and, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
like tomorrow, go to the ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
In order for you to really believe that that's
Yeah,
gonna, I mean,
I
it's
don't
almost
believe
impossible,
that. Yeah,
right?
I don't.
But he did it, so you
Right.
know.
I know that he could, but
Right.
like,
But I'm saying let's say you could fully believe and he could actually, if he actually did it, I mean, it would kind of defeat the purpose, right? Because then everybody would have to believe, you know, it's something so unbelievable, something like that, seeing that I mean, that would instantly make everybody who saw it a believer, like, you know what I mean?
you would think,
You would think, I guess. Yeah.
but I mean, people that, yeah, whatever. I don't want to get into it. But you know, what's like something hard in your life right now to believe that you're actually like, if you don't mind sharing, like something you're praying for, believing for?
You mean
but
something that I want that it's
yeah,
hard for me to believe that I would get?
yeah, you could say it like that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really, there's not anything that I really want.
The Lord is your shepherd; you want for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I talk about this all the time. Like, one of the big realizations that I'd come to, which led me to the place that I'm in right now, is that I just felt that I was very blessed. Most of the time when I'm praying, I'm thanking God for everything that I have, because
Right.
he definitely didn't need to give me everything that I have. And then on
Right.
top of it, I'll just pray for whoever's sick to be healed. And then I pray for guidance and wisdom to keep serving him. There's not anything, you know, I guess if we were going to be super technical with it, it would be like somebody who's very, very sick right now. It's, you know, I guess it would be hard for me to fully believe that that person would get fully healthy again, something like that. But even that, after watching what he did with Brian, I mean,
Wow. I know. And I heard the testimony Mike shared, like
oh,
from
with
a
that
book he
woman.
read with the
Yeah.
woman,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's anything, I can't really think of anything off the bat right now that seems completely unbelievable for me to achieve, or for me to be given. What, do you have an example that you could think of something? I mean, you asked, so I'm guessing you have an example.
Well, the things I desire most right now that I feel like are
Outside of your reach?
they are outside of my reach.
Well, okay. Outside the realm of possibility?
It's not okay. Oh man, I want to be careful what I say, but I do believe that it's going to happen. But I guess just like holding on to that faith, continuing to pray for it. There's a couple of things, you know. Brandon has been in pain for a long time. I pray over him almost
What,
every
his
day.
back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's referred pain from his back, but you know, he's got a
But
lot of stuff going on with his back.
yeah, but see, stuff like that, I don't know, because like that's something that he's got to be praying about every day, right? You're praying about it every day. And that's something that can easily, I mean, for God to heal him would be the easiest thing in the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then you have to say, okay, well then there's a reason why. Like, you know
Maybe.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was thinking that even with Mike, because his back's been,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's so crazy, because you would think that something like that, I don't know. You know, I never understood, like, there's a reason that that's going on, right? Obviously, there's got to be a reason. Or is it something like, or is it something deeper, right? Like let's say Brandon doesn't fully believe that he can be healed, even though you do. Like, is God waiting for him to believe? Like, you know what I mean? It would be something like that. I don't know. I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's examples where like the person that got healed didn't believe.
Well, you're referencing to when Jesus walked it? Yeah, but that was kind of the whole purpose, wasn't it? Like, he was trying to say that, I mean, he was trying to prove that he was the Son of God, right? So in order to do that, he had to break the barrier.
But most of the time, the people that came to him, they came to him because they believed.
Yeah, but it wasn't always somebody, like when he healed the person, what was it, who was laying by the pool.
Right.
That person didn't even know who he was, I don't even think, right? I mean,
no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no.
He said,
Right.
pick up your mat and go.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So he kind of like, he initiated the you're healed, like go walk in it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure like the faith, like some days we have the faith and we pray according to the faith, and then some days we have doubts because we keep praying and we don't see anything happening or something like that. But I think that is where like we need to keep praying. We just need to keep praying and keep waiting on God, and I'm believing it'll happen one day.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's really not supposed to, but I believe anything can happen, obviously. So yeah, I would think that it's gonna happen eventually. I just like what I'm trying to say is I'm wondering if it's a personal thing between that person and God as far as something that you might not like that we might not even know about, like that person feels like some type of way and God is trying to like
Do something
work
there.
that out
Yeah.
with them, like you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, totally
Like they
possible,
almost
yeah.
feel like maybe I deserve this and now
Maybe.
God is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Not to say that that's exactly what's going on, but I mean,
No, I know what
feel
you
like
mean.
it could be something like that in that sense. Yeah.
Right. God is always doing something. He's always working. He's always moving. He's always doing something. And he's always doing something for our good
Mhm.
and for his ultimate glory. So, yeah. And we don't know. And we trust his character.
Yeah.
We trust him.
That's the other thing, like I was gonna say, is I don't if something like the way I look at it now, it's like, okay, I'm praying to God for this. He knows I want this. I'm asking for it. He knows he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So if he doesn't do it, like this is what he wants and that's it. Like
Right.
there's no reason for me to get upset about it. Like you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm not gonna get upset that he didn't listen to me. Like that's like another thing that I think people probably think, oh, God's not listening. God doesn't listen to me. God's not listening to me.
Yeah, that
I've
can
been
be
praying for
garbage.
this and
Yeah.
I'm not getting what I'm praying for. He's not answering my prayers. God only listens to certain people or whatever. And I think when you understand that God listens to everyone all the time, it's just a matter of, you know, do you have faith in him and did you really, if you really want this done and if he's got something different going on and he's got something different going on, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you just got to like have the faith that this is how it's supposed to be because he's in control, right?
Right. His ways are higher than ours
Yeah.
and better than ours. And yeah.
So like once that's I don't get frustrated with stuff like that anymore. Like the way I look at it is like I've prayed, I've asked for it. If he's got other plans and he does something different, then it's out of my control. You know what I mean? He's got my full faith as much faith as I can possibly give, I imagine. So there's nothing else I can do other than what I'm doing. If it doesn't go that way, then that's the way he wants it, and I gotta trust that he's doing what's got to be done.
Right. Right.
And it's really, and obviously I'm talking from a viewpoint where I don't have a very serious something going on, and for somebody that does, I'm sure that's
Right.
a very hard concept. It's
Right.
easy for you to say you're not the
Right.
one who's
Right.
going through this or whatever. Yeah, I understand. I would probably think differently if I was in that situation, but I would try to reel myself back in and come to the conclusion that God is doing what God wants to do, and that's that. You can only do so much. You can only pray or like you try to like I don't know. I'm always like trying to tweak it. I'm always trying to like figure out, okay, what makes the most sense to pray for. I never want to ask for anything unless it's something that, is like a health situation. I don't need anything. Like, what do you need? Like, you know what I mean? I've got God. What else do I need?
Yeah.
I don't really need anything else. I can be happy with what I've got and I'm thankful for everything I've got. So I thank him and then I say, okay, like I said, give me guidance and wisdom to help serve you now.
Right.
I'm a servant to God. So whatever he wants, he wants me to do, he'll present an opportunity and I'll try to jump on it.
That's
I
very
get it.
logical.
I get well, I mean, I don't, and then I'm like, I'm thinking this too much in like a business transaction where it's like,
Sometimes,
it's not, yeah, I don't know. I could overanalyze and reanalyze this a million times, I guess, but I'm trying to do what makes the most sense and also like not not like, here's the other thing. Like I'll say, okay, you know, give me whatever you got, throw whatever you got at me. And then, you know, I'll screw up and like not do something, or at
Right.
least think I screw up. And I'm like,
Right.
God, man, I really like, all right, now I just feel like I'm lying to him. Like I'm telling him, give me whatever you got and I'll do it. And then like you miss an opportunity, or you feel like you should have said something to somebody and you didn't. And now that opportunity's gone. You're like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
All right, next time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like the human condition. God is so good. God is so forgiving.
Yeah.
And God is pleased with you, if I could just say that to you. I mean, your
Well,
heart,
he's pleased with everyone.
but I'm talking to you.
Okay. All right.
So your heart to want to serve him, even if you mess it up every time, like your heart to want to serve him, like it's pleasing, you know?
Yeah.
It's good. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm super proud of you. I'm super happy to be sitting here
Thank
to
you.
talk
I
about God with
feel
you.
I always feel like I'm constantly like I don't know, I guess overstepping, is that the right word? Because I don't know. Everything that I've done in life, it's almost like I haven't earned my stripes yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like you guys, you know, were saved and started reading the Bible like 10 years ago, however long it's been now for you. I don't know. But, and then like I kind of just jump in and say, okay, I'm going to do this, and this. And, you know, it just kind of like, I just feel like I sound stupid. It's like,
No, you don't.
you know,
No, not at all. It's like keep going because it doesn't work like that.
no, I
You know?
I know.
One of my favorite guys to listen to, he says something like, "We're all just like we're all just like distracted kindergartners in the kingdom of God,
Like infants.
yeah, like we all need the grace, the mercy. Like I need it more now than before, like because yeah, things just happen and sometimes you start believing things that aren't true and you get down the wrong things. No, it's like I love the position that you're in where it's like everything is fresh to you and you're like, this is awesome. And it's like, um, it's really like encouraging to me. And it's not at all like anyone needs to earn their stripes. Like none of us earn a thing. I know you know this. Like
Yeah.
it's nothing but God's grace and nothing but the blood that gives us anything that God gives us, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like everybody would start looking at me like, you know, like, what do you know? You just started this type of thing.
No,
And it's true. I really don't know anything.
you know more
but
than me.
I don't know, but I kind of like but that was my whole point of doing this whole thing with Mike and starting this whole thing, was to learn as much as possible. And I just felt like I had like an obligation. Like I didn't like the path obviously that I'm going down now. I'm gonna say I didn't ask for it, because I guess technically I asked God to give me whatever he wants, but it wasn't what I had planned, right?
Mhm.
And now like I'm starting to realize, all right, like it doesn't matter what you have planned, like none of this was planned, like this is just how it's going down. But I just felt I had this obligation to try to understand and try to like, you know, break down these mental barriers that people have against Christianity, and try to figure out. It was almost like, all right, like as soon as I had read the Bible and understood it, I'm like, okay, so there's a way to reach people. You just got to figure it out. It's like figuring out a formula, right? You know, it's like a math equation. You just got to figure it out. Yeah, and then, like there's only so many ways you can go about this. And just going based on it, it's like, okay, it's fresh for me, so I gotta write down everything that I thought, right? So that's my perspective. And now I've got to try to have conversations with people who don't want to have this conversation, like, you know what I mean? And just to see like where they're at.
Right. Their perspective.
Right. And to just keep trying to get these perspectives and keep trying to figure out, all right, where does the real problem lie, right? And then you realize there's so many different angles to look at it. And like, you know, you can try to break down, and I mean, that's why I tried to figure out what about specifically just about the Bible, where people just kind of wrote it off as like they would never read it and they would never pay attention to it, and why. And most of those problems relied in Genesis, which makes the most sense, because I think that's what I had a lot of questions when I first opened up Genesis and started reading it, because it's vague and it says a lot of things that kind of like, you know, how should this be interpreted type of stuff. So I just wanted to like work on that. Like, all right, let's bang out Genesis. Now I have an answer for anyone who wants to talk about that. You have a problem with what's about? It's in creation. It's Adam and Eve. It's the flood. What is it? Now I have those answers at least, and I can kind of combat with that.
Right.
But it's funny, like on that journey, you kind of like realize like, oh, it's not just the Bible that people have a problem with. People have these problems with
Christians, I think, would be more.
There's
right?
that. Well, there's that, but that also is kind of a reflection on yourself. I think a lot of people are afraid because either they think that whatever they're doing, they don't want to change, right?
Could be.
Or it's something so deep that they don't even want to like tackle the idea of what happens later or what
Yeah.
it's just I think there's a lot of deepness to it that you're not going to get, and stuff like that has got to be conquered through something that's got to happen in their life that makes them want to that's why like a lot of people when they try to get people to give Christianity a chance or just like the way they go about it, like I think a lot of it is just pushing more people away because it's just you're just kind of like scaring people away with stuff that they've kind of already heard a million times and that doesn't really work and stuff like that. So I kind of was just like, all right, listen, I'm gonna do this podcast as far as breaking down as much as what's in the Bible. So if you had something that it was in the Bible that you didn't understand or it didn't make sense to you, you didn't agree with, all right, now I can talk about that and I can get that out of the way. You want to hear the podcast, you say like, okay, maybe make you think about it a little bit differently. But I just wanted everybody to know, like, this is where I'm at. So now if there's ever a time where you do have a question or something does happen and you want to talk to somebody about it, you can talk to me about it. You know what I mean? I've opened that door and I was very open about it with everybody. I didn't try to hide it. I didn't, I was like, listen, this is how I feel now. Anybody ever has any questions or anything happens and they want to talk about it, they know that they can talk about it with me at least. You know what I mean? So I kind of just at least open up that door. But I feel like if you go about it where you start trying to like, hey, Jesus died for your sins, and it's like, it kind of like doesn't really work in terms of, and I'm just, not that I know anybody who does that, but just from like,
I've definitely done that before.
Well, I'm talking about, like, you go to, you're there's somebody standing on a street corner, you're trying to get on a subway and there's always somebody saying stuff like that. I don't really know if that really works with anybody.
I don't know either.
Because I feel like a lot of it is stuff that you have to work out in your own head. And if it is like a theological thing with the book, then at least I got that out of the way. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, I enjoy talking about this type of stuff now. I kind of like all the different avenues you can go down as far as the different topics you can get into, and
it's endless. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is endless, and I'm always trying to come up with new ideas for what me and Mike can go over and talk about and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with the way things are going, and it just seems like they're going very fast, but I'm happy with it.
Let me ask you, because like I heard that like 6 years ago maybe you said like, oh, Christianity, I'll never go that route. Like, I think the words were, you already ruined it for me.
Probably, yeah.
So like
well, that was the thing. Like, that's what I was trying to say. Whatever avenue you guys were going, and I'm not like picking on you, but everybody in the family, like, nothing that anybody did really felt like it was the right way to go about it. I guess I don't know. That's why, like, I'm trying to learn from all the stuff that happened, and okay, like, what's the right way to go about it? And I kind of think the right way to go about it is to just open the door and lead by example. And you can't be afraid to talk about it, but you can't push it. Like, once you start pushing it, like, it becomes this, like, I feel like if you guys didn't push it as much, I would have been more interested, because then it's like almost like, what's this about? Like, you almost become interested, but then once you start like trying to push it on somebody, it's kind of like, all right, get out of my face type of thing. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, no, I was basically an atheist for most of my life. I would say I didn't really believe. I thought all religions were a joke, and it was just like I'll say a way for people to cope with death and stuff like that. And it's hard to really make that turn. And I think one of the and I guess it's hard for me to talk about like what it would look like being. I see it with other people, and I'm trying to do it now. But to be brought up as a Christian just seems so difficult. Like to stay. I mean, obviously, I'm going to try to do it with my kids, but it seems so difficult to stay on that path because it wasn't until like I was an adult where I was getting married and having kids that I guess stuff starts to get real and you start to like really think about these type of things where you're like, okay, I'm going to have a child now. I want the best for him. What's the best for him? Like, I need a guide. Like, you know what I mean? So that was like kind of one of the things where you really start questioning. And it was like that. And I remember being much younger and not agreeing with things that were in the Bible. And then as I got older, I'm like, actually, I do agree with that. Yeah, that's why I always say like to be in that age range, especially in today's society, especially in New York City. I mean, to be able to look at the Bible as a teenager and see how it makes sense. It's almost like, when you're a teenager and your parents tell you to do things and you're like, oh, my parents are so dumb. Like they don't know anything.
Yeah.
They say like there's, you go from thinking you're so much smarter than your parents to like a couple of years later realizing how smart your parents really were. And like, they were right this whole time.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so difficult for me to even like try to imagine, somebody at that age, being able to comprehend that type of stuff and being able to think along those terms just because it's so deep and so meaningful, and that's just not where your brain is at that age. It just seems like you wouldn't be old enough to even. I always laugh when I talk to somebody who's like raised Christian. They're like, oh, when did you find God? Like, I don't know, when I was 8. I'm like, you couldn't comprehend what was like. There's no way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna tell me you found God at 8? Like, what do you know at 8?
The gospel's pretty simple. I mean, I think
it's simple, but it's also pretty complex as far
as. No, I know what you mean. But yeah, God says he makes wise the simple. Like he made it so that I think a child, like simple childlike faith, I believe.
You can
I
break
know
it down.
I know I'm bad.
Right.
And God is good. And Jesus died for my bad. And
listen, you can break it down in ways that a child is going to understand, but they're not really going to understand the whole picture. They're going to understand what they can understand at that point.
yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. My hope for my children, right? Because like the Bible, like there's a lot, right? But my hope is that from a young age, like now, like Abigail now,
Yeah.
like that she have a relationship with God before she even understands, like that the relationship comes first. So then it's like, oh, God did this thousands of years ago. Like, yeah, God could do that. Like,
Right.
I know him,
Yeah.
like that's my hope. That's my prayer, God.
Well, it was funny because if you watched the first one I did with Mike, that was like one of the first. I was just very interested on like if he was always a Christian. He was like, "Oh no, I went way off the rails with my team." I'm like, "Damn it!"
Yeah.
I'm like, "If Pastor Frank can't do it, how can I do it?"
Yeah, talk to Gabi, his wife.
What?
Her, and those girls, their sisters. I feel like they're the only ones I know that have like been raised Christian.
Oh yeah,
and like
I was gonna like everyone's raised Catholic, but what does that even mean anymore?
Yeah, we didn't really grow up in those circles, I don't think. But Gabi, Christy, those 4 sisters, Jenna, Natalie, they were raised, their dad was the pastor of Gateway.
Right.
Their grandfather was the pastor of Gateway. I'm sorry.
He had just told that whole story. You weren't here the other day. I was telling, I'm like relaying the story back. I shouldn't be because I'm probably gonna butcher it, but I'm sure you've heard the story because Brandon was there.
Yeah.
Brandon
was there.
Yeah, I never heard I never really understood any of it. Like I don't think
I really know all the details either, but
yeah, it wasn't all. I mean, he kind of just broke it down as far as what happened between the grandfather and then I guess her
Yeah,
father
it's
and
really sad. Yeah,
yeah,
sad.
it's wild too. I mean,
But yeah, those girls, I look up to them tremendously. I think they really exemplify the love of Christ in a way that's very unique. Um, and they were raised, you know. I'm sure they each had their like little things, but they were raised and they're in the faith. They're steady, you know, they're strong. I think they have like I think it's built like a kind of relationship with God where it's like weathered, like they've been through it with him, you know,
okay.
where it's like that's really their firm foundation. I don't want to speak for them, but
Yeah, and I hate talking for other people. That's why I didn't want to get into it. But yeah, no, I don't really I mean, I don't personally I mean, I guess I don't even know that many Christians, but as far as I know, a lot of the people have been you know, saved later on in life. And it seems like it's going to be a difficult task, but hopefully, you know, hopefully we'll be able to create that foundation that our kids will be and they have each other too, which is nice, right? So it's kind of like we've already got our own little congregation. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, no, they that I mean, I pray that over them all the time that
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the cousins would be encourage each other, pray
Yeah.
for each other as they grow up together, you know, like
Yeah, yeah.
be good influences on each other and families do it. There's generations of Christians.
Yeah, yeah,
We're just in that first, second generation.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild thinking. I mean, it's just so funny how you grow up here and you don't realize how different the culture is in like other parts of the US, you know. Like when we were traveling and going to church and seeing all these people and it's just like it was weird walking around and going places and just like everybody was a Christian. It's like, yeah, we're
Mm,
all Christian. You're like, what are you talking
mhm.
about? It's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's such a different experience. And then you realize that people just grow up in like towns and cities like where everybody's just Christian. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Isn't really anything else. And
That
it's
is
just a weird thing to think that like, you know, coming from here where there's obviously so much diversity. I mean,
yeah. That was something that was hard for me to understand, I think, because I got saved when I was 19 and I didn't understand how like this conversation would come up of like, oh yeah, they say they're a Christian, but
oh yeah, yeah. Well,
and
that's
I'd
like
be
a whole
like,
nother thing.
why would you say you're a Christian if you're not? Like it didn't make sense to me because being a Christian is countercultural where we live.
Right. But there it's the norm.
But there it's
Yeah.
the culture.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand how, like, you're not saying you're a Christian to, like, fit like, in my mind, you don't say you're a Christian to fit
Fit in,
in.
right,
You say
right.
you're a
The
Christian and
opposite.
everyone's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
If
stay away from
anything
that girl."
if anything, if you were a Christian, you'd be afraid to tell people you actually were.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So that was like a, "Wait, what?" I didn't understand that, but now, yeah, I still don't think I really understand the culture just from where we're born and raised Staten Island, so just I guess you get a taste of it when you travel or when you meet people from other places, but
Yeah, right. And then it kind of becomes this thing where it's like, well, which is better? Because if you're raised in it, but you don't really have a relationship with God, then it's almost kind of like it's fake,
yeah,
right? So it's almost kind of like it's tricking you into thinking that you're doing everything right, but you're really not doing everything right, type of
right.
thing. So it gets weird like that, right?
Right. It becomes about behavior and yeah, there's actually okay, so those were 2 songs on there were a song on each album that were kind of paralleled each other. And Lauren Daigle wrote a song called Losing My Religion. And she says, I'm losing my religion to find you. And it talks about like how uh performing and like just kind of like you become an actor going through the motions of Christianity.
Hmm.
And it's like but am I relating to God? Like, am I actually talking to God? Do I actually have that relationship with God, or am I just acting like a Christian?
Right.
And then Victory has a song. I mean, yes, Victory has a song called "I Don't Have to Pretend." I think that's what it's called. And she talks about how, like, she can cry and, like, that's her being real and that's okay. And, like, she knows Jesus is gonna heal her, but she's not gonna try not to have emotions
Right.
to, like, put on a mask. So yeah, I feel like that is not better. I feel like that is terrible. I feel like I've had like those kind of thoughts like, oh, like I can't like I can't be sad around my friends that don't believe. Then, what'll they think about Christ? That I'm a believer and I'm still sad.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that, I
And then I felt all
guess.
this pressure to like, always have it all together and always like
Right.
put on my best face and like
Because you represent Jesus.
right. But, that's not real then. And like I'd much rather have a
Um,
relationship with my friends where, I can be real and I feel like I've kind of gravitated more toward that where like I can meet up with my friends that, don't claim to believe or whatever, but I can still be like, yeah, I'm having a bad day right now. Like I just feel off and like I can be real about I just feel more comfortable being real about it now.
yeah.
Whereas like I feel like I used to like feel like I had to fake it.
Yeah. But I think also, I mean, I don't know. Like I think the idea is not that you shouldn't feel bad, but you have to be able to understand that you can't let those emotions take over, is what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah. No, you're right.
those like because again, we go back to like what we were saying, like God's got you, right? I mean, there's
Right.
no every time like I'll be like having a having a bad day and I'm like, is it really that bad of a day?
It's not. It's really not. I know. I know. It's
So,
not.
you know,
But we're human. But we're
no, I
human,
know, obviously, yeah, I know. But I just, again, that's what I said. You gotta like practice that way of thinking where you have to like constantly remind yourself, and you do it through scripture and through prayer or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's better to be reading something every day and praying every day because that that connection, like it brings you closer and it brings you back to like that reality
Exactly.
where you
Yes.
can kind of be like, yeah, you know what? I'm stressed, but I don't know why. Like, I don't like,
Yeah.
no, things are pretty good actually.
Yeah.
You can kind of like, see the big picture and bring everything back in and not like go too off the rails as far as how you feel in whatever negative way. Like I said, that's a spiritual warfare, right? I mean,
Right.
the devil wants you to think a certain way. They want you to be upset because those emotions pull you away from God, right?
Right.
Those
Well, yeah, they can. What
they
we do
can.
with our
Right,
emotions
right,
can,
right,
because
right.
we can bring the emotion to God, and then it can actually get us closer to
Well, then I
God.
guess you close. Yeah. Well, yes.
Or we can let the emotions, keep us from going to Him
Right.
because we feel like we're not good enough. Oh, I feel this way. I'm not good enough to come to God.
Well, you just get wrapped up in an emotion that's not how God wants you to feel, right? And you don't need to feel that way, but you get wrapped up and you forget, and then it starts to eat at you, and then you got to have the wherewithal to stop and sit back and like, okay, what am I doing here? Like, what's going on? And then, but that's what I said. It's cool. For me, I felt like it was cool to know that that wasn't like just me, that was spiritual warfare, like that was an attack on me, right?
Mhm.
And it was funny just recently, and I was talking to Kristen about this because just recently I had put something together that I didn't realize it when it happened at first.
Mhm.
So I started reading the Bible the first week in November.
This past November.
This past
Right.
November, right? That was when I first started reading. I started with the New Testament. I started with the Gospels, whatever. And then I finished sometime in like February, but it was the first week in November. I remember it was right around whatever Hunter's birthday. And then it was a week later that we had found out that Kristen was pregnant. And then it was a week after that that she had the miscarriage. And I didn't even put it together, but I'm like, oh, that was an attack, right? Like that was they were trying to get me to put down the Bible. It was either the devil trying to get me to put down the Bible or God just testing me at that point. Because I mean, what are the chances that the week I start reading the Bible that would happen? It's super odd.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how many people would have put it down, Not that it had ever crossed my mind, I kind of tried to deal with it as, it sucks, but let's move on type of thing or whatever. Let's try to move on. And yeah, I obviously continued to read the Bible and finished it, and then it obviously that changed a lot in my life, after I read that. So, but yeah, I was just thinking back. I'm like, wow, what are the chances that the week I start reading the Bible, all that
That's
happens? Like,
crazy. Yeah.
it's just, and I didn't even realize it at the time. I was just, but any person could have put down the book and went to a really bad place and maybe never picked the book back up. Like, you know what I mean?
Like blame God if you wanted to go that way. Um, yeah.
Or
It's
just
hard because it goes back to what we said before, like, God has the power
right.
to do whatever he
Yeah.
wants, right? So then we're just like, all right, but like why? Why then does this bad thing happen? But yeah, and then again, it can push you away from God or it can push you closer to God, and you can go through it with him and he'll comfort you and he'll get you through it.
Yeah.
And then your faith actually grows stronger from that. I mean, yeah, that was my experience
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
that experience. Yeah, it's that choice of like, okay, are you gonna choose me? Like, are you gonna keep following me?
Right, right,
Are you gonna stop following me too? Are you gonna choose to trust me and stay with me in this? Or are you gonna back up?
right,
Harden your
right.
heart. Because
Yeah,
that's what would happen, right? Like
right.
that's the choice. Like when something bad happens, we can harden our heart, or we can let our heart be tender and go to God with a tender broken heart and let him heal it.
Yeah, I don't, obviously, it is what it is, and it was something that, we worked through, and, we're past it now,
I
but
mean, you'll never be past it,
yeah, I
because it's
guess.
a loss.
Yeah, it's well, whatever. It becomes a part of you. It becomes just becomes a part of your life, and that, but you got to keep going, right? Like, I mean, like the thing is, like, you got to understand, like, that first of all, those, it's not something crazy. It happens to a lot of people all the time, and it was, if God felt there was a reason for that, then there was a reason for it. You gotta have trust in his system, right? So if anything, it we learned from it, and it made us stronger, if anything. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can say that it helped my relationship with God, because at that time I was just kind of building that whole relationship with him. So that's why it was such a weird timing for that to happen, because I didn't really know anything yet. I'm basically just working my way through the gospels at that point, and to have all that happen, and I don't ever remember the thought of putting the book down ever even crossed my mind. Like, I kind of just kept going, I guess. And I never blamed God or anything like that. And I wasn't angry with it. Obviously I was upset, but thinking back on it now, I just thought like the timing was very odd,
Mm.
as far as, whatever plan there was there. It was, you almost feel like it's that Job scenario, right? Take something away from him and let's see if he still wants to. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. It's weird though. It was is a weird to look back at it now, and see that that's what was going on, and that's where I was on my path. It's kind of a turning point, I felt, because that kind of changed everything when I started reading that book. So that's why I thought it was very odd.
Do you remember having like, okay, when you first started reading, were you praying alongside it, or were you just like kind of gaining information, like taking it in?
I so I was very dumbfounded with the whole idea of praying. Like, I felt like I didn't understand it. I didn't understand how to do it. Like, I felt like I needed, like, to take a course on it. Like, 'cause I'm like, I don't know how to talk to God. I don't know how to pray. I still feel like I'm really not doing it. I feel like I'm doing it better, but I don't know. I can't compare I want to compare myself to somebody who knows what they're doing, right? Somebody like Mike or Pastor Fran or
None of us
even
know what we're doing.
no, well, I mean, listen, when they but when you hear Mike pray, he does it with
Yeah.
such conviction.
No, I know what you
and
mean.
you're like, oh, I can't do that. Like, like if that's how I'm supposed to talk to God, like I gotta keep practicing. Like I
No.
don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, like it just like always to me, it feels more informal than it should, I guess. Like I feel that but it's funny because the more that I pray and the more I kind of like become more comfortable with it
Right.
and
It's
it
awkward. Like it can
becomes
be
more
awkward.
right. Like it was. I felt like I wasn't doing it right. And I felt like I'm like, I must sound like an idiot to him. And I don't know what I'm doing. And I should be saying, and then you hear people pray and they're like quoting scripture. I'm like, I can't even, I don't know how to quote. So I'm like, I can't memorize any scripture. I'm like, no, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I like actually had bought books on prayer to try and just like, okay, if I read this, maybe this is better than what I'm saying because it's in a book and people are using this and saying it works and whatever. So no, yeah, like I'm getting better at it. Obviously, like it's a,
It's not like that, right?
I know it's not like that, but it's just something that I get angry at myself because I wish I was better at it.
But what is better at it? Like if you okay.
But even comparing like to my conversations with God now to how they were 6 months ago is 10 times better.
Better like you talk to him more?
Yes, the prayers are longer. I'm saying different things. I've understood, okay, I should be talking about this. I should be talking, for example, right? When I started praying, I had like a basic, I would pray and say this, and like that was it.
Okay.
There was no like conversation. It was like I was
Gotcha.
reciting, something I had memorized, basically.
Hail Mary, full
Yeah,
of grace.
exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a conversation as much. It was like, thank you for everything, and please continue to protect my family.
Yeah.
And like, and I don't know what I'm doing. And then you kind of like now I have like a book where it's in here actually. Every time that somebody brings something to me, I write it down and now they're in my prayers.
Yeah.
Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is like, I'm evolving. you get better and better at it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so now I can say, okay, I'm praying for this person, this person, this person, this person. They need prayers, they need prayers, they need prayers. And I, obviously have the blanket prayers for my family and my friends. And like I said, a lot of it is thanking him for everything I have. And that's a whole nother thing. Like, even when I first started praying, I felt like, I'm like, I can't ask for anything. Like, all he's done is give me everything. I'm going to ask for something. I'm like, it's crazy. I just got to say thank you for everything he's given me or he'll stop giving me shit. Like, it's not, yeah, that was one of the turning points in my life where I came to the realization where I had been given so much and it can't be by coincidence. I have to thank somebody for this.
Right.
So obviously there's a God involved who's doing this because I'm not doing this. I mean, I'm not, I didn't do anything to deserve anything I have. So, yeah, I was like, I have to thank God for all these things. I have to, because he's responsible for giving me all this stuff that I clearly don't deserve. So I have to thank him for it. So a lot of like my prayers in the beginning were just thanking him for stuff and not trying not to ask for anything because how greedy can I get?
Yeah, no, I can relate.
So I pray for other people who are,
Have you ever thought about like talking to God, like related it to like when you met Kristen and kind of like talking to her and like you're getting to know her and she's getting to know you and you're spending time with her and you're setting apart time for her and like you're like it's like a romance. Have you ever thought of it like that?
No, I've never thought of it like a romance. I think of it in terms like, because you have to know that he already knows everything about you. You know what I mean?
He does, but he loves you.
Yeah.
So he enjoys hearing from you. I feel like having children really helps me understand some things when it comes to like the fatherhood of God.
Right.
And you can probably relate where like Hunter runs up to you and he's just like talking to you about whatever,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
who knows what he's talking about, his toy, whatever,
Right.
whatever happened to him that day. And it's like, you don't care what he's saying. You just love that he's talking to you
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and he wants to share his life with you and he's happy. And you're just like, like when Abigail comes to me and she's just like going on and I'm just like, yeah, yeah. And, that's just like a parental love that God doesn't need us to say the right things.
Right.
It's just that we're going to him and we want to share our heart with him. We want to share our thoughts with him. And there's that parental aspect, but there is that romance aspect of it too, where even though God knows us completely, we're really getting to know him a lot. So it's like that like romance of like getting to know each other and like where like sometimes it's awkward and like breaking through that awkwardness and getting to like how you really feel and like being honest and opening up and the Bible even says like pour out your heart to him, pour out your heart to God. Yeah, so like it's hard to define prayer or
So
what prayer should look like,
right,
right?
right. Because then it feels like it's not prayer anymore, right? It just feels like
Right.
you're
It,
I don't know.
because
That's
what
why
is prayer really?
I don't know.
I think it's just a conversation with God. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, like you can go into teachings on prayer and there's the different types of prayer and all that, but it's us relating to God. It's us relating to our God, talking to him, being with him, and like our own children, like, we're not expecting them to say everything right. We're just like happy they're talking to us.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Like I'm always because I'm trying to. I don't know. Is it in the Gospels as far as like how Jesus talks to God?
He does pray in John, I can think of specifically.
But those aren't like a conversation, right? I mean, those are more of like an actual prayer.
Well, he says, Heavenly Father, I thank you that you hear me. I thank you that you always hear me.
Right.
But whatever. I think he says like I'm doing this on behalf of for them to believe.
Yeah, I mean, that was like another thing in the. I mean, that's what I was trying to figure out if it was even in the Gospels, but they do that in Chosen. Like they have like every time he wakes up, he does like this morning prayer to God or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
But
King of the universe.
It's not like he's having a conversation with God. It's like he has like a ritualistic prayer that he recites every time he wakes up.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying it's hard to determine because at what point then are you just, and I'm only saying this because the only time I have by myself where I can actually pray is like in my car on my way to work or back.
That's a good time.
So I'm like, at what point are you just talking to yourself?
We're not. No, God is with you. God is listening.
No, I know. But yeah, I don't know.
You mean like getting in?
Yeah, like to the point where you're just because I mean that's theoretically what's happening, right? Is if you're trying to make it like you're talking to another person, having a conversation where you're just saying this and that, it's like you have to keep in perspective that you're talking to God, I guess, right? Like the way I'm looking at it is, I guess I'm looking at it less as a father and more of an authoritative figure that I'm trying not to piss off. You know what I mean?
I would say,
like, I hope I do this right so you don't get mad at me. Like,
yeah, that's not how God is.
No, I know.
Yeah. He loves you.
Yeah. No, I know. I get it. It's just, it's hard to bring that concept of like you're talking to somebody in terms of, I don't know. The other part is like other people will say they hear him back. Like I don't ever hear him back. So I guess that makes it more difficult for me to be more like I'm talking to another person type of thing.
I know what you mean. He does respond to you.
Well, he definitely responds to me. Not in terms where like I hear him though.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I don't know really what to say on that because everybody's relationship is gonna look different, and the relationship evolves like a relationship between two people. Like the relationship evolves. Maybe he talks to you one
right.
way.
That's what I figure. Eventually, he'll talk to me. Like,
he talks to you. He talks to you. I think he talks from what you've shared.
In that way. No, he definitely talks to me. Just not in that way, I guess. But I mean, now like it makes a difference, I guess. I was just always very intimidating to me because people were like, oh yeah, guy told me this the other day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd have to do to get that type of relationship.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I don't know, like that could come with time. Could be like maybe like a level of faith of like expecting him to talk back when we talk to him.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm really not sure. When I talk to God, it's not like, he's
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
whispering back into my ear.
Right.
But he definitely speaks in different ways, and it's really fun. Like I'm gonna say this to God, and like he's gonna
He's
answer
gonna
in some
respond some
kind of way,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
what's gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, try it, just like in your car, just be like, Father, hi, I'm here. I don't know what to say, like, cause it is awkward at first. You're like, you feel like you can feel like you're just talking to yourself. But yeah, like, what do you want to do today? Like, something like that, or like, how do you want to talk to me? Like, what should I do?
Yeah, but I also think that takes time because I mean, you got to remember. I mean, you were 19, so what are you? You're 31 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're talking about 12 years of talking to God.
Yeah.
Compared to my whatever 8 months or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, but
different.
maybe.
You've had practice.
Man, I needed so much help. I still need so much help. But yeah.
Yeah, the what's one of it's funny as they were talking about it on Mike was talking about it in a sermon Sunday, but
I gotta listen to it. I listened this morning to the beginning.
it was really good. He did a really good job.
Yeah, I gotta listen to it.
No, but one of the things I read, the most dangerous phrase, I mean, this isn't exactly word for word, but the most dangerous phrase a Christian can say to themselves is I got this.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah. It's true. Apart from me, you can do nothing, God says. Apart from me, you can do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely, yeah. Ugh, I think like I need to get on that, like really relying on God more and not just like, oh yeah, I could, these tasks today, I think I can do this. And then I'm not talking to him like I should be, not relying on him like I should be. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's more of when it comes down to things that are kind of bigger things. Like I don't know if I would say like your daily tasks are really.
I think it's everything.
Yeah, you think it's
Yeah,
everything?
I think it's everything. Because like I explained before, like, yeah, we can do things, but why do we want to do anything apart? Like, why do we not want to do it with him? Cause,
Okay.
he can empower a daily task to change somebody's life somewhat, like going to the grocery store. If I'm sensitive to him and be like,
Mhm.
yo, God, I need you to lead me into which aisle to go into right now. Like it could be something, like I'm not that, I don't do that, but I wish I did. But, or just like, like slowing
Yeah, but
down.
then you could do that with everything you do. I mean,
Yeah.
when does it end then? Like,
It doesn't. It doesn't.
am I making a left or a right?
No, I know, no.
But that's my point.
Okay. Okay. I like to look at it like this. God, like, I want to be sensitive to you.
Yes. But okay. But what I was gonna say is because so I feel he constantly throws stuff at us, but we're just not paying attention to the stuff he's throwing at us.
Right.
So it's kind of just being hypersensitive to everything that's going on around you. So I always use this analogy. I don't know if I ever told you this analogy, maybe I did, but the whole Matrix analogy, I ever tell you this?
I don't think so.
So there's this scene in the original Matrix where they're in they go into the Matrix, right? And
there's so many parallels to the Matrix.
Oh yeah. So they're in the Matrix and they're walking through like this abandoned building or whatever, and they have to like watch out for the agents who are part of the Matrix or whatever.
Oh, you did tell me this, but
I just told you
go
this.
on, yeah.
And they're walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
And Neo's the last one to go up, and he sees a black cat, and then he turns back and he sees the black cat again in the same thing, and he's like, deja vu. And they all stop and they turn around and they look at him. They're like, what did you just say? And he's like, oh, nothing. They're like, what did you just say? And he's like, I said deja vu. I saw a cat and then I saw it again. And they were like, there's a glitch in the matrix. They're like, that means something's happening right now. We have to figure out what's happening. Something was changed. And like, I always think of that when I see something now, because then I'm like, oh, that's
When
God.
something
And I'm like,
catches your
there's a glitch
eye.
in the matrix. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's it right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
God doing
Because
right now?
you'll see something and be like, oh, that was weird. And then
Yeah.
like you move on, like, whoa, now I'm like, that was weird. Well, hold on. Like now I
Right.
have to be hypersensitive to what's going on
Right.
around me, because that's
Right.
there isn't just a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like that's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, stuff like that will happen where like you see somebody and you feel like drawn to them for some reason, right? And then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, whatever, you ignore it. And
Right.
then you see them again.
Right.
And
Exactly.
you're like, oh wait, that's weird. And then like if I'll give an example. Me and Brandon went to Lowe's recently. We were trying to return something. One of the guys that worked there, I see him come up, and for some reason I just like notice him, right? But whatever, we don't interact with him at all. We go and we're looking for something. We go to somebody else. Hey, can you help us? And we know this guy works at the spot where he can help us. But he's like, oh yeah, just go over there to that thing. So then we go back and we're back with the other guy that I first noticed. And then I'm like feeling like, okay, what's going on? Like, you know, something's going on. But we got the girls with us. I'm kind of distracted. I don't get to say anything. But then Brandon says something. I think he was wearing a cross. He says something. They start talking about music. Oh, you listen to the new Forrest Frank song. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh no, who is that? Write that artist down. I want to listen to him. So Brandon writes the artist down for him. And there's like a line now. I'm feeling a little weird. And he's like taking out the printer paper. Oh no, write that down for him. And he wrote it down. And who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's things like that where like it's like the Holy Spirit like almost like puts a little press on you, like
Yeah.
pay attention right now. And some days I'm so off and I'm
Right.
just so in my own head that I'm like, yo, I'm just trying to freaking survive through this right now. I'm not paying attention to anybody. And yeah, I hope those days get less and less, and that days of like me being like, all right, God, I'm ready. What are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, we're in the war. What's going on? I'm your soldier. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I just at the at the same time, I kind of hope that he understands my situation as far as like I've got kids and a job and stuff like that, where I can't. It's not like I'm walking around constantly being able to do whatever he needs. I mean, it'd be nice, but yeah, I you know, I have to like remind myself like, okay, I can't do everything. I've got, you know, a lot of responsibilities and stuff like that, but any opportunities that I see come my way that I can conquer, I'm gonna do that. And I'm more aware of them now than I was before, so it's easier for me to say, okay, I see what's going on here. Let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. And it's working out. It's piling up is what it's happening. And I have to like slow everything down, I guess. But
I think it's in the things though. Like we can even be sensitive. I used an external example where we go somewhere, we meet somebody, but even like in your job, you know, you're always around people.
Mhm.
God cares about people more than like the things we're actually doing, right? Like he's a relational God.
Yeah.
So you're always with the other guys, you know. Whenever we're with people, that's an opportunity to show love
Right.
in any way, kindness, even just a smile at somebody, do somebody a favor, whatever. Home with the kids, like if we're sensitive, all right, like what's going on? Can this child use a little extra attention right now? Maybe they're acting out, like let's try to get to the heart of it instead of just whatever, doing what's easier, ignoring it or whatever. Like if we're sensitive to what God is doing, what God is trying to work out in us, how we can be a blessing to our family when we're with our family, how we can be a blessing to anybody when we're with anybody. Those things to just, you know, that keep that heart tender. Keep my prayer all the time, just keep my heart pure, keep my heart tender. What are you trying to do? And like, how can I partner with you? How can yeah, the being sensitive.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it helps to always keep him in the back of your mind when you're doing everything, because
Right.
it changes the way you think about everything and it changes the way you act with everything.
Right. Yeah.
you know, like I always say to myself, I'm like, you know, I should really like just put on like worship music in the background, just like as it's there. Because I feel like it would be much harder for me to like flip out about something if this worship
Yeah,
music
you're
going
right.
on.
I mean, I've done it before still, but
No, yeah.
but yeah, you're right. Just to have it in the background, like
Yeah.
it's such a simple thing, but it really does change the atmosphere of the home. And if I want to play, if I put on worship music, you know, it you know, God is being lifted up in the home. It changes the atmosphere,
Right, right.
and it's such a simple, you know, it's a click of a button.
Simple
These,
thing,
you
yeah.
know, got to do that more.
Yeah, it's habits you got to get into, stuff
Right.
like that. If like I like make that a habit, to like wake up and put it on and just kind of like start the day in like a better atmosphere, I guess. Yeah, but little things like that, I'm always trying to think about, because I'm always trying to figure like, okay, how can things get crazy here.
I bet.
Things get crazy. You know, I don't want to be yelling at my kids all day about
Yeah.
everything. Like I need something to remind me that God's sitting on the couch.
Yeah, waiting. He
Jesus
wants to
on the
hang out
couch,
with
yeah,
us.
wants to hang out, right? So you to think in those terms, you gotta have like reminders, stuff to kind of like pull you back into that. And that was like one of the things I thought of that I should be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you know, there's a lot of times like it's because it's hard. You can't just like stop what you're doing. Be like, all right, everybody, let's pray.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hunter, do you want to say anything to Jesus?
I mean, when me and Brandon pray, it's like the girls like run over and now they need something and they're like crying at our feet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was what was how we were praying with them when we go to sleep. And like it would turn into like they knew we were praying, so they would just go absolutely bananas and just jump. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, we're gonna like you're not paying. Not only you're not paying attention, you're actively trying to disrupt us as we're trying to do it.
It's crazy
for whatever reason.
I know.
So yeah, we kind of like stopped that. But I know because I feel bad. I'm like I want to get into a situation where they're learning how to pray and what prayer looks like
Right.
and stuff like that. But it just gets so nuts, and I'm like, are we ever gonna get anywhere with this? Like I gotta have to eventually figure out a better way to calm you down. But I feel like it's just the age too. I don't know.
Yeah. Pastor Fran said something recently that I've been thinking about, and she said, pray, talk to God about your children before you talk to your children about God. So I've just been thinking about that, like, instead of trying to like maybe like force Abigail to like more Abigail than Briella, obviously, but
Right.
like, oh, like we're gonna pray now, your turn to pray or whatever. But kind of just like, all right, I'm gonna talk to God and I'm gonna pray for you. And I'm gonna you know, ask God to help me raise you. And like when I'm not with her, when I'm with her. And yeah, just I guess like like being that example.
I don't know, this balance where I guess I either have to like make it more simple or get him involved maybe more. Like we try, like there was a point where like he would actually do the prayer.
Yeah.
And then it just went off the rails and he won't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like I also don't want to make it like a painful experience either
Right.
for him.
Right.
So I tried to we were trying to just like do it and he'd be there and he could at least see it, and then it was just getting so crazy. So I don't know, I have to go back to it. It's much easier to pray over Trevor. He just lays there and lets you pray. There was one night, I swear, I forget what was going on, but like he just wouldn't go to sleep. I mean, like it was like I think it was like 1 a.m. and we
Oh my
couldn't get him to go to
gosh.
sleep. And I mean, we tried everything we could think of, and I just sat in the chair and just read the Bible to him for like an hour. I mean,
Wow.
like he was just laying. He wasn't going to sleep though. He was just laying there, and I'm like, well, if we're just gonna sit here together when you're not gonna go to sleep, I'll read the Bible to you.
Yeah.
And then he eventually got sick of that and started freaking out. So I just thought it was funny. I was like, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Try something.
I think like 2 nights ago, Abby didn't want to go to sleep. She wanted to be with us. She wanted to be with Brandon. And you know, we're like, all right, girls, go to bed. Mom and dad want time to talk without the
Right.
other kids there, you know? So, you know, me and Brandon are downstairs, Abigail keeps coming, and then finally he goes upstairs with her, and then whatever. I take a shower, I go upstairs, and he comes to me and he's like, I don't know why I was like not going with her. Like she just all I had to do was just sit with her. And he was like, I was saying Bible verses, she was repeating them, and we did that until she fell asleep in my arms. And then, like, he was like, I don't know why I didn't just, you know, help her go to sleep like that.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like there's definitely like little like dips and stuff. Like I feel like the 1.5 year mark, they like start to realize what prayer, like what, you know, that people pray. And I remember Abigail used to do this, and like out of nowhere, she would just be like this. And like, all right, we're gonna pray now. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna pray now. Okay, let's pray. And she would like remind me to pray throughout the day. And now Briella started doing it too.
Oh,
And she goes like this. And then if we don't do it, she's like, she points to us and she's like, until we do it. She's like, you do this. And then there was a point where Abigail would like pray out loud, like, and then, you know, it dips and not so much. And then sometimes the other morning she's praying over Brandon, like, like it's definitely from God. She definitely has her relationship with God. You're ahead of me in the age though. So as far as like things
Not
like
really.
family devotional type things, I feel like I'd like to get more into a routine with that.
Yeah. Well, we started praying before we eat, and
We never do that. I know it's
no.
it's like the easiest thing to do, but
Well,
we barely ever
I
do
think
that.
that's what I don't know. I think just one day I came home and I was like, all right, I'm like, if we can't do it at night because you're crazy, we're gonna do it before we eat. I think it's like a good habit. It's a
Yeah.
very traditional habit.
Yeah.
And they kind of like it. Like they don't really fight us on it at all. Like I'll put my hands in, now even Trevor's like,
Aw.
and Trevor says amen, which is great. I love it.
Aw.
And the way he does, it's great. Because I'll do the prayer and we'll say amen, and then amen.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
So that seems to be working, but I want to be able to get into prayer where they understand like you can pray like at any time.
Right.
Right. I don't know. I gotta work something. I mean, it'll be easier eventually if they're in the same room when they go to sleep, and then maybe we can do something. But I don't know. They're just so wild. They drive me crazy. I gotta figure out something where they're not gonna, something where they're not gonna, I don't know, just make it into a horrible experience. But yeah, I don't know. I'll figure something out, I guess. You want to shut it down? You got 2 hours.
Sounds good. I'm
I ain't getting tired.
Yeah.
I figured I'm not gonna try to keep you any longer. But thank you for coming, and
Thank you for
hopefully you come
having
again.
me. I would love to. I really had a good time.
It's nice seeing you without children. I think it's probably the first time I've seen you without one of them in a very
I
long
know.
time.
Whenever I go anywhere, like the few times I don't have them with me, I'm like, what do I do with my hands? I don't know. Give me something to hold.
It's very quiet.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I think it's good for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little mental break, you know. You get to I don't know. That's why I liked it too. I was like, just to have a friend over to have like a 2 hour
An
uninterrupted 2 hour
conversation.
conversation,
Yeah.
you know, is nice. It's nice to whatever you want to talk about. You know, I try to tell people think there's like rules. Well, what if you know, like they're I'm like, talk about whatever you want. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, this thing is evolving on its own. Like, you know what I mean? I had a lot of people like, well, what are you gonna do? It's you're doing music and now you're doing Christian stuff, and I'm like, dude, if somebody wants to come on and talk about the freaking weather for 2 hours, I'm like, I don't really care. I'm like, who cares? Like, let it evolve into whatever it is. I don't have any rules. The music thing was a jumping point, but like it was, you know, it at least gave you like a base.
Yeah, I was so ready to talk about those albums for 2 hours.
For 2 hours? I don't think any of the episodes we ever talked about.
I think you could have made full messages out of these songs.
Oh, I'm sure you could have. I mean, I mean, that's kind of what me and Joe do when he comes on, because he really, like, he'll come with like notes and stuff he wrote on the lyrics and what they mean.
Yeah, that was me. That was me.
And I'm like, listen, I'll do this with you if this is what you want to do, but I'm like, we don't have to do this, but that's what he wants to do. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm happy just
Listen,
to
if
have a
you wanna do
conversation
it-
too.
Yeah, like I said, if you wanted to pull up lyrics and really talk, I mean, like, we can get into a Bible study on the verses. I mean, is whatever you want to do, however you want to spend the time. I don't really care. I like more of just a casual conversation where it doesn't have to go anyplace. But like I said, if you want to do like some type of analysis on the actual songs, that's great. Like I'm not, the way I look at music, when if they're like, I don't pick music normally. Obviously, I know now there's, Christian, secular, whatever, but the lyrics are great, whatever. But for me, it's all like how it sounds. So if, right, you're talking about Jesus, that's great. And I'll, song like Jesus is Alive, I love the lyrics to that song. I think he did an amazing job with the whole thing. And aesthetically, it was very good. I mean, I enjoyed listening to it, but that's kind of like how I go about finding music is how it sounds, right? Like I'm all about like the sound to it. So I'm not too much into about the content. And when you're talking about Christian music, the content's basically all the same anyway. For the most part, you're talking about the Bible, you're talking about Jesus, you're using verses and stuff like that, which is great. And I can talk about them if you want, but then it's kind of like we're not talking about music anymore, just so you know. Now it's kind of like we're talking about the Bible, because you know what I mean? Like it depends on how you want to look at it. Like, you know what I mean? You want to talk about people talking about the Bible, we're going to wind up just talking about the Bible.
Right.
And you're not actually really talking about the music per se.
Right.
Right.
I
You're talking
wouldn't
about how
be, at least personally, because I'm very like lyrics. When I listen to music, I want to know what they're saying. I wanna like get the jokes that the rappers are telling, and I'm like, wait, run that back. I heard something. Like I'm about. I obviously, like, you want a song to be enjoyable to listen to, but I'm very like lyrics focused, almost to a fault, because I feel like I don't appreciate the artistry of some songs.
Yeah.
Where like they'll have a whole orchestra in the background, but I'm like, oh, that was like a sick line. Like, I don't hear that part of it. Like, I don't appreciate that part of it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like the other end of the spectrum from you. But you're right. It would just end up we would just be talking about
yeah. I mean, if you were talking about secular music, then you can kind of get into like a deeper meaning of what these people are talking about, which a lot of the time goes back to God anyway. In my opinion, at least. But that has to do with the lens in which you look through all that stuff. But yeah, like it's in a lot of the times it's like I try to tell people, you can look into the lyrics and stuff, but not every song has this really super deep meaning. Like a lot of it is like vague, interpretive type of stuff where you're not gonna like get a lot of information out of it. Like, you know what I mean? And a lot of it is like up to however you interpret it. Oh, I think he's talking about this in life when he says this. And it's like, okay, great. But in the end, and that's awesome. And I'm sure a lot of these artists put a lot of work into it, but it's mostly like poetry. Like, you know what I mean? It's sounds beautiful because not necessarily because of the meaning, but because it's poetic. It sounds nice.
right.
So I don't really, I don't know. I try not to just base everything I'm listening to on what they're talking about, like as far as like the content goes, and just I try to look at it from more of a musical aspect, is what sounds good to me. I could put something on in the background, I'm like, oh, this sounds really good, like they're doing a really good job with this. Obviously I knew that Victory was talking about, biblical stuff, and she was talking about Jesus for almost every track, like I thought she would be. But I just thought the sound was so beautiful. Like when it came on, I thought she had such a nice voice, and the way it was produced was just very attractive to me as far as how it sounded. And that's what really like drew me to it. Because like I said, I can go through a bunch of albums and they're all going to be talking about
Right.
Jesus in the book. How I decipher? Well, she's talking about it better. Like, it's like, okay.
Right.
But I just thought it sounded really beautiful, and that was why I picked it. But
Yeah.
When if when we can break down lyrics next time if you want. If you want to do 2 hours of that, it's up to you.
What just curious,
Yeah.
when you created the podcast,
Yeah.
what was your vision for it?
I don't know. I don't know if I really had a vision per se. It kind of was like, all right, let me try this project and see what happens type of thing, because I just had so many people. I guess because I would have conversations with people about music and be like, would like be impressed about how much I knew about how many different genres and how many different artists and stuff like that. So I had
All your
multiple people
lists.
always tell me like, "Oh, you should have a podcast. You should have a podcast with this." And I think what happened was, when Trevor was born, I was on vacation, so I was home all the time, and we were kind of just like, all right, I got some time, like let me see if I could do this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So since I was home and not working at the time, I kind of was like, all right, let me order the stuff and put it together. And I was like, I looked it up. Oh, it doesn't seem that hard. You use this program, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. And I didn't really, I didn't know if it was going to work out or if it was going to work out. You know, I just kind of like, all right, let's see if people are interested in doing it. And, a bunch of friends were interested and excited about it. And obviously I didn't think it would lead to what it led to so far, but like I said, that's the way God works now. So what it'll be used for in the future, I don't really know. I mean, there's um a lot of different ideas being passed around as far as what the possibilities of what I can do with this now. Obviously Pastor Fran has a lot of ideas, and she wants to do different stuff with it, and I'm 100% behind that. I just right now I'm enjoying the idea of being able to have in-depth conversations with Mike about the Bible and about Christianity. Um, and even like a conversation like we had, I think is extremely helpful and is
Helpful to me, yeah, for sure.
well, I mean, helpful to everybody. I think it's an interesting conversation for maybe not as interesting for somebody who's not a Christian, but for somebody who is a Christian, I think they can find a conversation like that pretty interesting. We covered a lot of topics and stuff like that. So there's like a lot of different avenues and different things that we can go. Obviously, I started the Bible study with this. I'm actually going to start a parallel Bible study, and even that's a whole nother funny thing, because when I started doing the Bible study, it was very difficult for me. And I didn't think it was going to be, because of doing this would just seem so natural to me. I really never had a problem just doing the podcast, and then having to just stare into the camera by myself. And then like, it was like I was doing a presentation, and it was
Yeah.
like work, and I was nervous, and I was fumbling my words, and I'm like, what's going on? It's not even live. Like, it's I can edit this after. I don't understand. Like, I can literally just stop talking for 5 minutes and it would get cut out. It wouldn't even matter.
Right.
But yeah, I found that very difficult. And then just navigating how to do it was very difficult, because I just kept in my mind, it just kept coming up with new ideas on how to do it, how to use the study Bibles, and then how to make notes and then review the notes while I'm reading it. And it's just like that kept evolving. And then it was like, okay, I want it to be more natural, so I don't want to read the notes anymore. Right. So then I kind of was like, all right, let me try to do it without just reading all the stuff and kind of like try to do it off the cuff.
Right, like
And
in
it
your own
was
words.
way harder. And I'm like, okay, this is not working like I thought it was going to work. So now I'm kind of pivoting towards trying to write an actual, I guess, not write in that sense, I guess, but training myself into how to write sermons. I'm going to try to make it like more like a sermon than, I guess, like a Bible study.
Okay.
They're kind of similar though, really,
Yeah.
when you think about it. Like, that's kind of what church is. You go to church, they're reading
Yeah.
a chapter of the Bible, and they're going over the deeper meaning of everything in those passages, in those verses, whatever. So I'm kind of like going to start trying to train myself to do that. And then obviously, I guess the more I do it, the more I'll be able to kind of write them better and spread them out better and be able to, I guess, get them long. I guess ideally you want to be able to get to an hour, right? So what I'm going to do now is pivot towards that direction, and then also create a parallel Bible study, I guess, in the Gospels. Mike told me to do Mark, so I guess I'll do Mark. I don't know really the difference doing Matthew, Mark, or whatever, but apparently Mark was written first. That's what he was trying to tell me.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know. I always thought Matthew was written first, but he's arguing that Mark was. So I was like, okay, I'll do Mark, whatever.
All I know is
Um,
Mark is the shortest one.
Is it the shortest
Yeah.
one? Oh, maybe that's why he told me, because he thought I was retarded.
No. Stop.
Take it easy. Why don't you take the shortest one first? Work your way up to Matthew. No, yeah. So I'm gonna try to do that, and
So that was like a suggestion. Mike was like, you should try doing one of the Gospels.
no, not for this. I don't know if we talked about it for this purpose. Obviously, what had happened was when we had talked to, because I seen him Sunday, we finally got to not have a in-depth conversation, but have an outline of a conversation about him teaching me how to pastor or whatever. And he basically was saying that, or Pastor Fran had said at first, that I need to know the Gospels, right? I was like, and I had said this before weeks ago when I talked to him. I always felt guilty for not being in the Gospels every day, because I feel like that's what I want. I want to be able to know them the best. My train of thought when I started the prophets was I had the hardest time with the prophets. So if you're going to go back and study something, go back and study what you had the hardest time with in order to get better at that. Right. So that's kind of where I was stuck. I'm stuck between trying to be better at what I was bad at, and then trying to, get in the Gospels and essentially the most important part of the Bible, learn as best as you can. And
Right.
that was kind of where I was stuck. So at this point, I think I'm going to try to just do both. Right. I just go back and forth. Well, I don't want to quit. That's my problem. I don't want to I started, I'm like chapter 10 in Isaiah. I'm just going to quit and stop that and start this. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe if it becomes too much, I'll just do Mark. But I do think it makes more sense for the path that I'm on now is to really start trying to write the sermons for the Gospels, probably because they're the easiest to write the sermons for, but also because I think they're the most important if you were going to start teaching other people the Bible, right?
Right.
So
what Jesus did, what he said, how he was, yeah.
Right. You're going to be able to pull the most out of that, I think. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is I'm going to see if I can do the Bible studies more like I was giving a sermon, less like I'm just reading notes off a piece of
Right.
paper. You know what I mean? Which is still hard to do when you're not talking to people.
Yeah.
Like you can't even if I ask Mike, okay, sit in front of this camera and pretend like it's not the same because you're not talking to people,
Right.
So I still feel like it's going to be difficult, but I think over time I'll probably be able to get better at it. It's just practice. You basically just have to write like bullet points about like what you want to talk about and kind of go through it like that. So that's going to be my practicing as of right now until I for the foreseeable future, I guess. And then I've got obviously a ton of other projects I want to take a crack at eventually. So we'll just see where it goes. Like I said, I'm just gonna kind of take it one step at a time and see where the opportunities bring me, and wherever it takes me, it takes me.
Yes. God bless it all, and he'll guide you. Yeah, for real. One day at a time. He'll show you. Just that conversation. You keep talking to him.
Yeah.
You can say, shut it down if you don't want it. Keep it going if you want it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Your prayer is it really like whatever you want of me, God, right?
Right.
Whatever you want of us, that whatever he wants of us, it's in our best interest to just do that
Right.
because he knows much better than us, and he knows what's gonna make us happy more than we think we know what's gonna make us happy. So yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm really excited.
It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. It's overwhelming. It's a lot of different emotions.
He's never gonna leave you to do it alone.
No.
If he's leading you to do it, he'll help you in it.
Yeah. It's a lot coming at me at once, I think, especially because I have I had a lot of other things that I felt were also very pressing. So we'll see what I get to actually accomplish. I'm gonna try to parallel everything at the same time. But yeah, we'll I know it sounds crazy. The whole thing sounds crazy. It sounded crazy. It still sounds crazy to me. That's the toughest part is everything just it sounds
It
like
doesn't matter if it sounds crazy. It doesn't matter.
No, I know. And yeah, it's exciting because it's exciting because it's something that I think that I can enjoy and
Yeah.
eventually, maybe not right now, but I'll eventually be able to enjoy doing it. And it's a journey that I definitely didn't think that I would been on a month ago. I didn't think I'd be on. And he had told me multiple times, and every time he had told me, I was like, Mike, what are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? You on drugs? Like, what are you talking about? So it's just funny that I completely wrote him off every single time he wanted to talk about it. Because I just thought he was being absurd.
The pastoral thing.
Yeah.
Until you feel like God confirmed it.
Oh, God definitely confirmed it. Yeah, I couldn't deny that. And that's kind of you know, he confirmed it while Gabi was going through like her thing. So I didn't want to like bother him with it.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, okay, I'll wait until, Gabi's good, and then we'll have to have a conversation about this. And he was like, yeah, and I talked to him a little bit Sunday, but then we're gonna have to sit down and have obviously a more in-depth conversation about what this is all gonna look like, because it's kind of a big undertaking. But yeah, he had it was like the first conversation because when I had him on here, that was kind of like the first time I ever really had any type of conversation with him longer than 30 seconds.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? I didn't really know him that well or anything. I knew
Right.
him as my pastor. Hey, how you doing? How's the family? Whatever. But
Right.
I had never really sat down with him at all.
Right.
And so and I also thought it was funny, for somebody the first conversation you have with them, you kind of like, hey, you should be a pastor. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's kind of a weird thing to say,
Yeah.
considering this is the first time we're really talking about anything.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought he was like being nice, like, oh, he's giving me a compliment.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then he kept bringing it up, and I'm like, I don't know what you're thinking, but I just read the Bible.
Right.
I don't know anything.
Right.
I know nothing. I'm still confirming I know nothing, but
that's how God works.
yeah, and I guess he had it in my head, and then I tried to in my head go over the process of giving a sermon, and through that process, I'm not getting into details about that now, but through that process, God had really spoken to me in a way that I couldn't really ignore it at that point. So I was like, all right, Mike, I guess we're doing this. You were right. Yeah. So, I don't know what's going to happen now, man. It still feels dumb saying it, but I gotta go through with it now. I got no choice.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks or what anybody says about it, because and that just doesn't matter.
No, yeah, I know. It's one of those things that it's hard to believe, and it's hard to wrap my head around still. Because it just seems very fast, and one of the first things I told him, I was like, dude, if I start I was like, if even if I wanted to, I was like, I'd be 60 something by the time I'd even be qualified to do something like that. It wasn't something I could imagine being, having an opportunity to do. But like I said, there were a bunch of things that kind of pointed towards it and got me thinking, and then it was kind of confirmed, and now we'll see where it goes. I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, right? I'm just kind of trying to take it one day at a time,
Yeah.
and see where it goes. And like I said, this might not even be the end of that. This turns into something else.
Right.
You don't really know where it goes. It kind of just riding this wave, and whatever the opportunity brings, I gotta take. And this was one of those situations where I didn't really, and he told me to, and I didn't even really, because I just thought the conversation was stupid. Like he was like, "Oh, pray to God about it," and I'm like, "No, that's dumb," and I didn't. I asked God, like I said, for guidance and wisdom every day. So, and I told him whatever he threw at me, I was going to take, and he made it very clear that this was it. So I can't not take this opportunity now. This is an opportunity that, you know, I don't even think anybody in my position, the chances of me being given this opportunity by somebody like Mike and Pastor Fran, that alone is a blessing that
Mhm.
I can't like just turn away
Of
from or
course.
deny, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm given a very special opportunity that um I didn't think that I would ever be given really. I thought if I was ever going to do this, it'd be something I'd have to do myself and build myself. And the fact that there are people who want to stand behind me and help me
Mm.
um do this for God is just amazing to me that
Yeah.
that this opportunity even came. So, you know, that's the perspective I kind of have to look at it. I have to look at it as God presented me with this blessing, and that's really what it is, and that's what I have to take it as. I don't think Mike goes around every week and tells a different person that they should be a pastor.
No, I don't think
You
so.
know? Um,
Think
I
he's
mean, maybe he does. I don't know, but I'm under the impression that he doesn't.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna take this opportunity and see where it goes, and hopefully, you know, everything just works out in a way where I don't mess anything up. I guess I just try to take it one day at a time and see that, just see the whole thing through. You know, I think the big thing is like you can't like I can't give up on any of this. I don't want to give up. You know, I have a drive towards this that um, you know, I don't know if I've ever had a drive this powerful in my life for anything really. I mean, I've had little things that I was passionate about, but this is kind of something that really speaks to me on a daily basis. And I feel I have some type of calling to make an impact. And that's kind of where my head's been at since day one is I want to make some type of impact with somebody and help somebody come to the same conclusions that I've came to try to get them to the same place that I'm at now. So if this is the way that it goes and this is the way that it goes and I hope that you know, I hope I I stay on the path and do everything correct, you know. I don't know. It's tough. It's a lot. Like I said, it just feels like it's a lot being thrown at me at a very fast pace, but I don't think it's something that I can't handle. I just think it's going to be an adjustment, you know. It's going to be an adjustment like anything else. And I think it'll probably work out. I think it'll probably work out. So the best I can say. I can't say that I'm going to do an amazing job, but I'll do the best I can and hopefully hopefully in the end everything works out, you know. But yeah, I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna keep taking these opportunities as they come. I felt it was a real blessing,
Right.
and it's not like this wasn't a thing where I had to like sit and think about it. You know, I went from within an hour. I went from there's no way I'll ever be able to do this to okay, I'm about to do this, and that's just kind of how it goes. You kind of get tossed into a position where you can't deny, uh, you know, what's happening in front of you, and that was just kind of like one of those situations. So
It's a calling.
it's a calling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, these I think that God designs each of us in certain ways and these types of positions like leadership positions, they're not really I don't think they're made to be like worked toward. I think they're made to be called into by God. It because that it's a work of God rather than a work of man.
Yeah, he thinks it's a gift.
Yeah.
That's how they describe it. Which okay, I didn't. You know, it's not. I don't really see it that way. I don't think I've really accomplished much yet in this field for you to say, for someone to say that I have a gift.
Well, a gift isn't accomplished. A gift is given.
No, I know, but I'm saying in order to see somebody having a gift, you know, in my head, it's almost like, what are you basing that on?
Right. Like, what do you don't,
You know what I mean? But
they see something that you don't even see yet.
well, you know, the funny part was this Sunday, before Mike started the sermon, like while the, you know, they're still playing the worship music, Pastor Fran was going around talking to everybody, but just like walking through the aisles, talking to you know, talking to the fathers in general about how important being a father is, and you know, just a lot of amazing things. But
Yeah.
and then she came over to me and basically called me out. She said, you know, obviously wonderful things about me, and she mentions the podcast. But I thought it was funny. I'm like, you didn't need to mention the podcast to the whole church.
Plug.
It was funny. And she's like, you know, you're gonna do great things. You're gonna do great things. And obviously, my first in my head, my first thing is like, okay, Mike talked to her about this, like, you know, like they had a conversation. And then my second thought was, you know what, Pastor Fran is so good at this. I bet you he didn't even say anything to her. And I would go downstairs and I walk over to Mike, and Mike's like, before you say anything, I didn't tell my mom.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. They're old. That's always happening with them too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's saying, he goes, first of all, he goes, I don't ever have to tell my mom anything. She just knows.
Yeah. Yeah. She's close with God. Yeah. That's a word from God.
Yeah.
Rather than, she's kind of just like the medium that God is giving you it.
Right, right. Well, that, you know what was funny? Like every time Mike would bring it up, like I'm like, is he saying that God is saying this, or is this just him? Because he's not telling me like, oh, God told me that like you should do, like he's not saying it like that. So it was kind of weird where I'm like, I don't know if like God is saying, he's just not saying God is, or is just something that he feels like it's just a personal thing.
Right.
Because obviously what you know, whatever happened with Pastor Fran, like that's through God, obviously. So I don't know. He just said he had felt it from the first conversation we had that was something that I should be doing. So I don't know. I guess he's right. Whether God told him or not, I mean, they're on the same track, you know.
When I was 20 years old and I was working in Mom's Cafe.
Yeah.
And a lady walking by, I feel like she might have come into the cafe a few times, but she comes in and she's like, you need to go to this retreat with the Brooklyn Tabernacle, this young people retreat. She's like, you should really go. I'd never been to the Brooklyn Tabernacle before. I didn't know anybody that went there, but I felt like to not go would be disobedience. And at that time, I thought more of because I was, you know, a lot in the world and like trying to follow God. And I thought of disobedience as what I was doing. I would do things that would be disobeying God. You know, I'd go out and do different things, whatever. But that was the first time I realized disobedience can be not doing something that God is telling you to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like when God calls you into something, like you can say yes or you can say no.
Right. And then there's the deciphering whether it's God calling you into something or just something else.
You won't know unless you go for it, right?
Yeah, no, I know. That's all. Like, I always like feel that God is telling me to do something, and then like afterwards, I'm like second guessing myself. I'm like, was it God though? Like,
is that just me?
Or was it just me?
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's something for God, that would. I'm like, what difference does it make either way? Like, I'm helping either way. Like, you know what I mean?
The another quick little testimony. Have you ever looked into the Welsh revival?
No.
Okay, really big revival in Wales. Am I saying that right? I think so.
Yes.
And the guy who, I'm probably going to butcher this, but I'll just say from what I remember, but you should look into the Welsh revival. The guy who started this, I think he was away in seminary school to become a pastor or something like that. And he goes to the leaders and he's like, I feel like God is telling me to go back to my hometown and just like be with the kids in the church at my hometown and start a prayer group or something. I forget. But he goes, I don't know if it's from God or if it's just from me. And the pastor goes, well, or like, I don't know if it's from God or from the devil, right? Like, or whatever, however he worded it. And he's like, well, I don't think the devil is going to tell you to go start a prayer, so go and do it. It's probably from God. Yeah. So he did it, and that's how the Welsh revival happened. Right. And that was this huge revival.
That's why it's like you almost have to, because if it, like if it was from God, you didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you might as well try it anyway.
Right. Right. We have to. That's faith, right? We're not sure, but we're gonna give God our yes. Like, all right, God, if this is you, I'm going for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he has the ability to plant those thoughts into your head, right? You know what I mean? So you kind of have to be like, okay, this is something godly. It was spontaneously brought into my head.
Right.
I'll do it. And, what can it hurt type of scenario.
Right. And then I think also like, all right, God's my father. If I'm doing something he doesn't want me to do,
then he'll let you
he'll let me know that,
right.
you know.
Yeah. Like trying to finish a bathroom.
He doesn't want you to do that right now.
Apparently not. Apparently he wants us to be dragged out for a very long time. Months it's been now. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Whatever it is. All right. There's not much I could. Even today. So today, I took to I what I had to do today, or what my plan was to do today, is I just do it in bits and pieces. I'm not gonna. I was cut out the sheetrock and get rid of the studs in between, and then build the studs on the back so I can push the whole thing back, which would give me the 12 inches, right?
Mm-hmm. 12 inches. That's a lot.
What do you mean?
That's how much you have to move?
No. I only have to move it back 4 inches.
Okay.
And I used 2x6s, so I have plenty of space.
Okay.
But I need to. I was like, okay, so I cut the sheetrock out. I got rid of the 2x4. I'm like, okay, let me go cut the wood, and then I have the nail. I got the nail gun and the nails from Dad's house or whatever. I go to get the compressor, which is supposed to be in my shed, not there. So I can't do it.
Where is it?
I don't know. I still don't know.
Oh, man.
Rob was supposed to. I'm assuming it would be at Dad or Rob's house. I just used it in April to do the molding. No idea where it is. It's not. I checked my whole house, and I'm like, wow, I can't even get one step done today.
What's
I'm like,
doing?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, how is this possible? Every time I go to do something with this bathroom, I can't get anything done. Like, I'm like, this is unbelievable. So I was like, all right. I'm like, I give up. You got me. I'm like, I don't have my compressor. Don't know where it is. I'm just not going to do it today. Like, whatever. Maybe you want me to just hang out with my kids today. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not doing this. I texted Rob, and Dad says he doesn't have it. Rob never answered. I got no idea. I mean, I'm assuming it's at one of their houses, or somebody stole it out of my shed, one or the other. I don't know what it is about this bathroom. It's biblical. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's shut it down. But yes, thank you for coming on. And whenever you want to come on again, let me know.
Yeah. You wanna pray?
Oh yeah, you want to pray? Do I want to pray?
Yeah.
Oh God, now you put me on the spot again.
No spot.
Okay. Dear Lord Jesus, our Heavenly Father, we pray to you. We give you thanks for everything we have. We thank you for our family, friends, our health, our happiness. All our material items, everything we have is yours. We have it because of you. Thank you, Lord. We pray that you keep our family and friends safe, happy, healthy. Anyone in need of spiritual, emotional, or physical healing gets that healing and is healed. Thank you, Lord. We thank you for the time that we get to spend together with our families, the time we get to spend with each other. All the time that we have thanks to you, Lord. We love you, Lord, and in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Does it beat your standards?